Focal fry. Hi, kids. Welcome to Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. I'm your humble co-host, Ween.
And I'm Ray.
And this is our horror movie review podcast.
Cool.
Well, I'm trying to get into a thing. A regular thing.
Get into the groove. Oh, you got to groove. Tell us what's so special about this episode.
You guys.
Hold your fucking horses.
It's Pride Month.
Yes, it is.
Which
for a couple
means
more days.
We have yet another special guest. My best friend and gay husband, Will!
Yay!
Hey, y'all. I'm so happy to be here. It's gonna be a great time.
Wasn't this totally worth it?
Oh, it's so much.
I guess I have to ask you again at the end. That is my favorite laugh in the entire world.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
The teeny weeny world that listens to our podcast, feel free to make a soundbite out of that and send it to me. It's amazing. Well, hello, Will.
Hey there.
How long have we known each other, Will?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Like officially.
Officially.
We knew of each other for years before.
So officially, it would have started in 2008. So what is that math? In like
14?
late 2008.
No, 24. Late 2008.
That's been 24 years since 2008. That doesn't make any sense.
14. That's what I meant. I said that the first time.
I like math.
Edit! Edit that out. I play Dungeons & Dragons regularly and have to math. So,
yes.
So clearly I know math.
No, yes, we
14 years.
Yes, but we were running in the same circles before that.
Yes, because we're both theater nerds.
We knew of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then all three of us used to run around to the same institution.
Indeed.
Yep, institution is right.
Sure is an institution, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and I worked there, and Mr. Will here attended the university. Well, it wasn't a university. You know, the institution.
It's a university.
Whatever.
It's a college.
I would like to think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. But that's where we all ran around and met each other.
Yay! I'm very excited. This is gonna be fun, guys.
Yes.
But before we get to our content for today,
That people love and fast forward
and
to.
they just fucking clamor for, we do a little thing here. Hey,
What's
Will,
that?
what tickled your pickle this week?
Oh, well.
Or ever.
Well, we could be here for a long time.
In the last few weeks,
In
we'll
the
say.
last few weeks.
Because we all know this week's been a fucking week.
Yes, well, my big news is that I'm about to go work in the lovely state of the Union known as Hawaii.
Woo!
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a thing to say at Christmas time.
I know, I just wanted to do the dance.
Yeah.
It's the only Hawaiian song I
We'll sing some Moana for you. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yes, it's gonna be a
That's
good time
wonderful.
doing some arts related work on the islands there. It's gonna be a good time.
Cool.
That's amazing. Cheers.
Cheers. Slanch or whatever.
Slancha. The
Slancha.
toast of our-
Hawaiian
Slancha, the
is
toast
for
of our
cheers.
people.
Maybe I'll
Yeah, I
learn
don't
that.
know.
You'll have to tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Sweet, you'll have to teach us. That sounds amazing. It's amazing. I'm very vocal fry today. I don't know why. I'm just like, that's great. That's amazing.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, okay, now it's done. Okay,
That's
now I'm
right.
over
Give
it.
me the belty growl. I don't know.
Now I'm over it. Thank you, Will. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Jesus. Anyway, hey, Ray.
What?
What tickled your pickle?
I was just assaulted by it.
You're assaulted?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
This week, fucking guys, this week. I
Let's.
don't want to go into it. We're not going to go into it. But
No,
I'm
no,
going to try to find
no.
the one modicum of hope that I have in my heart.
Just for our kids keeping score at home, it's June 26th today. 2 days after a certain event in our nation.
The violence in my head has reached an all-time rage level, so let's not talk about that. I'm going to say...
focus on the positive. Do you want me to get back to you?
I got a dogwood
I wouldn't blame you.
from my front yard. There we go. Awesome.
You got a what?
Dogwood tree from my front yard. So.
Oh, nice. Yep. Yes, you did a lot of planting.
I did.
I saw you planted a hydrangea bush.
Well, I had to move those because they were in full sun and they were dying, and I was like, "Why are you dying?"
That's what's happening to mine. That's because I'm always like, I love this hydrangea bush. Why is it always so sad? And I'm like, oh, because it's facing fucking west, which is
and it's
in the sun all day. And I come home from work and it's like it literally it's wilted and like so hot. And some of the leaves have burned.
Yeah,
and like they're not dead. I mean, they're dead, but like not dead from decay. They're dead from burning. Oh. Like, you poor thing. But they're I'd have to move it.
Watered like twice a day.
Yeah.
Really fucking, like needy plants that I'm like, I don't got time for. So right now they're in the back.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I wanted something pretty for the front, even though it looks like hell right now because it's all it's in the middle of being fixed.
Well, hell.
This is supposed to be a happy moment, and I fucked it up. Oh. Anyhow,
does tickling need to be positive though? I feel like tickling could take a turn.
Or what interested you? Yeah. Like what tickled your fancy?
Yeah, true. I mean, because there is that whole subgenre of people that really like to be sexually aroused by tickling. So I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I mean,
sure.
It is
no judgments.
I ain't judging nobody's kink because I got some kinks that probably.
Look, don't we all?
Hey.
Don't we all?
Hey. Weed.
Yo.
What tickled your pickle?
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm hoping you are.
Hoping. And damn it. We had a quick break, and that's all we kept singing, just over and over again. I don't know, because we were praying for our mics to work. Anyway.
Insert ing word here.
ing. I had something, and now it's poof, gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
The thing. Your thing.
That was it. Yeah. So I finally.
You got from that thing. You got your thing.
God. So my boyfriend, my lovely sweet boyfriend, he's a very.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Huh?
Does he listen to the podcast?
No.
Okay.
He's not going to, and it's okay.
Well, just because
I'm over
ongoing tally of
and I just tease. Now it's just yet another something to tease him about because I do tell him, I talk about him all the time on the podcast, and he's just like, all right, that's cool. He's like, that's even less incentive for me to listen to it. I'm like, you think it wouldn't be though?
So how many times do you since your boyfriend listens to the podcast?
All the time. It's really funny. But he does, look, he does ask me, we're using, don't you dare. Of all days.
Look.
Listen.
Yes, it does that too.
Damn it! You can't have that!
Listen. Catch me in bed with the goblin.
God damn it.
Sorry, I keep derailing.
That's fine.
Here's the thing.
Nobody knows what the thing is yet. So, my boyfriend is a very practical guy, and I've been having lower back pain forever. And we were kind of, and I said, my chiropractor recommended that I get an inversion table because I've seen him 5 times in 6 months this year,
wow.
In this calendar year. And he's like, wow, maybe we should look into it. How expensive are they? And I'm like, they're honestly not too bad. No. I mean, you can buy really, really crazy expensive ones, or you can buy a super duper cheap one, or somewhere nice in the middle. Mm-hmm. I'm Goldilocks, and so somewhere in the mid to lower middle, he found a really decent one, and he came over on Saturday, put it together, and oddly enough, he once it was all together, he's like, I kind of want to try it. I'm like, go for it. So if anybody doesn't know what an inversion table is, first of all, look it up. Secondly, they're amazing tools to assist in like stretching and expanding your spine. Not to make you taller or anything, but like if you, right, if you have back issues, whether it be, neck, shoulder, upper, mid, lower, it helps. It uses, and some people think like you're supposed to hang upside down like a bat. You're really not. You're really not supposed to go past 45 degrees. I know. Because you, as you go backward, your body weight shifts, and you're kind of using your body weight to kind of make the top part of you stretch. So your spine and vertebrae will like snap into place. And the first time I used it at a friend's house, just kind of try before you buy, and within minutes it was just a godsend. And I was like, I need to have this. So within the first like 10-15 seconds that my boyfriend used it, he sat up. He was like, oh, I don't like being upside down like this for so long. And he sat up, and he's like, oh my God, my back, it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, because he's like 8 years older than I am. And, so he's like, and he's very healthy, but he was doing yard work during the day, so I'm really, really super excited. And of course, after he left, I got on it for about, 3 minutes, and
it does like,
it's a godsend.
They are great.
Yeah, and they're affordable. If you go to the chiropractor, like as much as I was, please invest in yourself and do it.
So, friends, the moral of the story.
Yes, sorry.
Make gravity work for you.
Indeed! Don't work against it.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
Yeah. It's totally awesome.
Totally awesome, dude.
Totally. It's from
Halloween. What's not totally awesome?
Are we talking about this?
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about these two movies. One is good.
Oh, right. So the movies we did. So, okay, we disclaimer. I think last time we announced that we were going to do.
Oh God, that's right. Yes.
So we had to change movies. So we were going to do Red State directed by Kevin Smith, which I've seen before, and Ray has seen before, and you've seen it before too, Will. And
it's a great movie if you haven't seen it.
A really good movie, but you can't find it anywhere.
No, because it's not being distributed.
Right.
For, like, the opposite reason that, like, Dogma isn't distributed. Because Dogma is, like, tied up in Weinstein-ness and weirdness.
Yeah.
But Red State is just tied up in Kevin Smith by himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was an independent release, and he really hasn't found the right quote-unquote buyer for it.
And I don't know, I mean...
Netflix had it for, like, a minute for, the first few years that it was out, and it still has Tusk, which is another horror film that he did. It's debatable whether or not you would call Red State a horror film. I definitely would.
Oh, I think so.
I know horror. It's not like creature. It's not creature horror like Tusk was.
No, it's no, but I know a lot of the horror podcasts that I listened to.
Yeah.
At the time, did it.
Yeah.
As an episode.
So
liked it very
right.
much.
It's a great movie if you're able to check it out or somehow. But we could not find it streaming anywhere. I mean, not even to rent. Or somehow acquire.
I mean, I was even thinking about buying it, but then, like, how, we would not always
right.
See it.
So we kind of had to scramble and figure out another movie to watch. So we consulted several lists as we had well before the month began on gay culture horror. One of them that kept popping up, was a movie called Fear No Evil from 1981.
I think it was the naked bullying in the bathroom scene and the Bob
Mackie gown that kind of got us, and we were like,
that sounds good. I mean, and it went to me. It was a good marriage between that and especially the shower bathroom scene.
Come on.
And the other movie that we're doing, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2,
also has a shower scene.
Yes, yes, it does.
So
just one of the flabbergasting as the other one. They're both
However, and fun factoid, and also kind of a special reason why Will is here, is a couple years ago, like, Will is not what I would consider like a horror fan.
I really am not. Like, my history with horror movies does not stretch back to my childhood, even in the vaguest sense of the word. Like, Really, my experience with horror movies began probably, honestly, with American Horror Story, the Ryan Murphy television series, which is great, and I still love this. Yeah. This past season was a little lackluster, and I wasn't super thrilled.
I heard, but I didn't watch it.
But then you start to appreciate like the artistry that goes into it.
Right. What did you see the Never Sleep Again documentary first before, or did you hear about second?
I think I did. I actually may have seen Nightmare 2 before I saw that documentary.
Did you?
Like way back in the day when all of Hulu was still free.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I read, some gay blog post about there's Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is this gay horror movie, and so it was free on Hulu at the time, and so I think
was that how you saw it? I thought you asked did you see it and then asked me after to watch the whole series?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I hadn't seen the rest of them at all. I had only seen the second one.
Okay,
you have a box set, right?
Yes, I famously have the DVD box set given to me by my brother-in-law of the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series, minus Freddy vs. Jason, which I don't include.
Didn't exist yet.
And the reboot didn't exist yet.
Which honestly, I don't know because we will do Nightmare at some point.
We definitely will. We have to.
Inducing fucking too much for me.
As much as it angers Ray, he's my favorite. He's my favorite, and I love it. He's such a fart
smeller.
It'll be an interesting couple weeks when we review that. But
months.
Yeah, there's
because and honestly, Freddy vs. Jason. I don't know. There's a couple things in there that I don't much care for.
I was going to say what my other tickle pickle was, but it's more of a shitty one. I'm I just got a text from a friend of mine who's currently at my high school reunion, and I do not want to go. I'm here with you guys instead. Yay!
I've never gone to any of mine, and I don't fucking care to.
I don't care to. That's really it.
I talk to people from high school that I want to talk to.
Exactly. In the age of Facebook.
What year is this for you?
2002. So 20.
So 20. Yeah, I went to my 10th because it was nearby.
Well, that's the thing. It's 30 miles away from where our high school is, which is fine. But it's also $75 a head. Excuse me.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. I'm like, excuse me, no. No, it's at a yachting club.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. So no, thank you.
No, ours was just on the patio of a bar/restaurant.
Right. I'm like, fuck you very much.
We could order what we wanted, but we didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
That wasn't the thing.
I remember, I think it was my 10th.
Not a perps.
And one of the guys that I was friends with in high school, he messaged me, and I think it was on Facebook when I was still on Facebook. He was like, hey, Ray, why weren't you at that class reunion? And I said, we had a class reunion. He's like, yeah, I was thinking you were going to be there. Come to find out, I think he had a crush on me in high school.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, I talked to the people, and at the time we were back talking, I said, I talked to the people I want to fucking talk to.
Yeah, dude.
And and part of me now is sad because he's dead, and I wish I actually had gone.
Oh my gosh.
A couple years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's those kind of things. You're like, damn. But at the same time, every fucking other person in that school.
It's odd that you say that because my friend just texted me a picture of all the people, they had a little in memoriam section of all the people in my class that had passed away.
And horrible. It's just awful.
I know.
Ugh.
It's like, oh wow.
When he passed, it was rough for me because I'm like, it's the first person that my age that I knew who died, and I was like, that I personally knew. There was other people from my class who'd had, but this was like,
yeah.
It messed me up. I mean, because it's like you realize you're fucking getting older, man. Oh, this is your tickle pickle.
Yeah, I think I'm done now. That's
Again,
good.
Doesn't have to be positive.
No. True.
It's just point of note, I suppose.
Still just be excited for Will going to Hawaii.
I totally am. I'm super jealous. He texted me and he's like, guess what, bitch? And I'm like, that's great. I've always wanted to go just because it's our 50th state. I'm like, damn, I want to.
My cousin lived there for a while.
Really?
And he did a skyline or a zip line tours. That's what he did.
Well, we have a mutual friend that lives there now and is so happy.
I have a friend that lives there too.
Oh no, I'm not sure he officially lives there.
Oh no,
but yeah,
I thought he did anyway.
Well, because he's back in this. He might, but he's back in this area so often to work that I forget that he spends time there anyway.
Yeah. I love that you can't get good pineapple there. They send all the good pineapple onto the mainland. They don't keep it. So
that sucks. I love
it's also very expensive.
Fucking love pineapple. There. Well, yeah. Where isn't it? Fucking Denver, Colorado is expensive. Fuck you.
Weird stuff like that. It's like when in Key West, like they're famous for their conch fritters, but it's also illegal to harvest the actual conch.
Right.
So they just use the recipe for what was a conch fritter and substitute some other form of meat.
Probably crab or something.
Yeah. Which would kind of make sense.
Good though.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Anywho,
please.
We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk about Fear No Evil. From 1981, and then we're gonna talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge from 1985. Okay,
84 was the first movie.
Okay.
Because I'm a nerd.
No, I'm just.
Well, it's also the year I was born, and I know all the fun stuff. Yes.
Because I'm like, gear up, guys! Buckle the fuck up!
Woo!
Oh.
Gay pride.
Taking the volume down.
I know.
Way down. Ooh. At the break, I shouted "Gay pride" at the top of my lungs, but Ray hit pause, and it's just like you gotta say it, and I'm like,
you gotta bring the intimacy.
That's right. Welcome to NPR.
Make love to the microphone.
NPR's ASMR hour. See, vocal fry. Anyway. Oh, you guys. So we threw in the towel on this one. I did. I stopped taking notes halfway through, you guys, through this movie, through Fear No Evil 1981.
Yeah.
It was not good. Spoiler.
So
before we even get to anything,
I think probably Will and I have some production notes because we probably read the same thing.
Yeah, probably. I didn't write my notes down though. This is just what I remember of reading about it.
Got it. So the film's origin, and again we're back to being the IMDb cast. It's fine. I don't really care. The film's origin came about when producer Charles M. LaLoggia discovered that filming location off of the Bolt Island in Alexandria Bay, New York. I actually wrote Hudson Bay. I don't know, it's some fucking bay off of New York. Close.
Down bada bay.
Bada bing. LaLoggia thought it was an ideal place to set a horror film and approached his cousin, director Frank LaLoggia, to write a film around the location. So literally it was like, here's a place. Let's make a
old castle.
Movie.
Let's make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
An executive at Avco Embassy wanted the seduction scene between Andrew and Gabrielle to be cut from the film, but director Frank LaLoggia wanted the scene to be left in. A deal was struck where the scene would be left in the film if the executive would be given associate producer credit. I mean, honestly, we could have left that scene out of the film.
Yeah, it really didn't.
It did nothing.
No, I mean, we could just say the line
for anyone
did nothing. I know. I was like, just fucking do it. Just stick it in. But nope. Okay.
I will say though, because there was that scene. There was the inclusion of like punk and new wave music.
This fucking music. This soundtrack.
The music in this. There was the Sex Pistols. There was the fucking Ramones.
There was Talking Heads.
Yeah, Talking Heads. Psycho Killer.
Goddamn mind.
I know.
Psycho Killer. I was like, oh, damn it.
It was fun, but it was such a left turn from the score beforehand.
Yeah.
That you could tell. Like, it was forced upon the film.
Yes.
As were the presence of zombies from production stuff that I was reading. And, like, all of those things, as weird and vignette-y and episodic as everything else was in the movie, even then, those three things felt super random and forced upon this movie.
I had to say, like, if someone was like, here is a vinyl of this fucking movie, I'd be like, yes, please, thank you. I mean, I thought I thought a lot of it sounded like Sweeney Todd. Honestly, the diegetic sounds and stuff like that, I thought it was like, a lot of it was like random, violins and it was, but I think honestly, they were like, we'll just throw this song in here, no one will know. And probably no one did, because they're like, film rights, song rights, what? Yeah. I mean, when I first heard, what was the first one? That was like, oh shit.
The first one that was played, I think, was Anarchy in the UK by Sex Pistols.
Yeah. And I was like,
I think that was one of the, because
after class,
that's not my genre of music at all, but even I recognize,
I am an antichrist.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
What is happening?
Yeah. It's like
also,
I don't like Mondays.
Super on the nose, by the way.
Yes, every time too, because they did that, and because they showed a picture of, or they had the camera on Andrew, our lead guy, when they played, Anarchy in the UK. Mm-hmm. I am an antichrist. The second song was what was it? I mean, there were a bunch of others, but the notable ones the only ones I really knew. And then the Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones, that was...
We had I Don't Like Mondays by the Boomtown Rats.
Yeah.
It's based on a school shooting.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going, hold on.
Yeah.
And they talk about on the nose as they're in school. I'm like...
Yeah, they're all in school during these scenes.
Whatever movie.
And then there's Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads.
You understand how much I love the
while one of the characters is like fucking his girlfriend with a gun.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
thank you. So if you're not enticed by now
if anybody's
to continue listening, buckle up.
You know, one thing I find is I always look at the parents' guide on IMDb.
Oh yeah, this one was like crazy bad.
Well, it was like not even that. It was like
red alert.
Well, it was like the sex and nudity was saying something like sex with foreign objects. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And then we got to I was like, oh, there we go.
There it is.
That's
what
it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Okay, let's start this movie. Okay.
So in the beginning.
In the beginning, there was
no pun intended. So there's this bit, right? Mm-hmm. It's the thank you subtitles, because subtitles tell you everything.
Yeah. Oh, the subtitles were also, the names were fucked up half the way through. I don't know if you guys had the same ones. It was Tommy and Tony, and I was like, it's Tony. They kept saying Tommy.
It's
like, no,
Tony.
It's Tony.
Even the characters kept saying Tommy.
Well, I don't know if you guys had the same issue I did. It was
like
it took me halfway through the movie till I figured out who all's names were what.
Yeah.
Because no one said. I didn't know who the big-haired, big-eyed Julie was until halfway through the movie. I was like, I don't know who this person's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's not really clear, and it was not well edited.
This movie's
well,
not well edited.
And also, some of the, there are also like the human names and the archangel names, and we get confused and all that.
Right, because they have the
teacher introduces them all by their fucking last names. Cool.
That are never used again, and it's not helpful in any way. Yeah.
No.
Right.
No.
It's just for that. But it's fine. So the beginning, the opening centers on this priest who's riding on a boat near this castle, but it's kind of, but before that it's a voiceover of him, of the angel Raphael, as we're supposed to assume.
We don't know that, though.
We don't know that.
Nope.
But the subtitles say Raphael, so I'm just gonna spoil it. So
I mean, that's fine, because it goes the fuck out of order.
Oh, right. And it would otherwise be extremely confusing. Yes. I would be like, what the fuck is happening?
And he also continues to voice over throughout the movie.
Except
it's not like a narratorial voiceover.
No.
It's like voice of the heavens to
yes.
some of these characters.
Yes.
But it doesn't sound like that. It just sounds like a riff tracks or something. Like commentary.
Yeah, it's...
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So. It really, even though I watched the beginning of this movie and the narration at the beginning made sense to me, I'm like, who is this voice? What is happening?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
And then again, we don't know, because she keeps calling him Tom. It's Father Dolan. Then she calls him Father Dolan sometimes. And you're like, I don't know who this person is.
Damon.
Father Damon.
Father Damon.
Oh, Damon. See, I thought it was stolen.
See?
No.
Exact point.
Yes. Well, then we get like
Point
a
emphasized.
fucking random naked man just hanging from the wrist.
Okay, wait. I didn't do the voiceover yet.
Oh.
I didn't say what he said because I took 18 screenshots of the fucking opening to get what he said.
So we're just like he's just guiding his
Rowing his boat.
over to this like
and holding a big tall priestly thing.
Scepter.
Yeah, it's a scepter that was like fabulous.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
It's one of those things you carry down the aisle during a procession at a Catholic church.
Yeah.
That you have the one that with the cross on top, and then you have the incense,
and
then
the little P and the X. I don't. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, this movie is very heavily with Catholicism. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Raphael opens the movie by saying, "And God endowed one specific archangel with striking beauty, wisdom, and power. He named him Lucifer, and promised him eternal."
What tickles my pickle? Let me tell you, Tom Ellis and Lucifer. I only wish that they had actually spent more time on the gay side of his bisexuality in that series. That would have been really, really nice. But
did it end?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It ended. Should I show him at some point my stand-up that's downstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we need to
I
at the
have
break.
a full-size stand-up Tom Ellis.
His boss got it for him. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yep. Okay, so he named him Lucifer and promised him eternal life in heaven. But Lucifer asserted independence and proclaimed himself to be like the Most High.
I wanted to be the Most High during this fucking movie.
So did I. There were a few lines like that throughout the movie, and I was like, you aren't kidding. The promise broken and driven from heaven, Lucifer vowed to wreak vengeance and suffering upon all of mankind. And God dispatched 3 of his warrior angels, Michael, Gabriel, which is supposed to be Gabriel, thank you very much, and Raphael. It's not even. It's Michael. It's supposed to be Mike. Right.
It's often Michael, but if you were watching it with the subtitles, like they spelled it Mikhail.
Yeah, they did
for the entire movie.
Yeah, Mikhail.
And they spelled Gabrielle the feminized way, which gives away what it's
a woman,
is a quote unquote twist halfway through the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But which, does it matter if an angel, if like a quote, do angels have gender? You know what I mean?
They really
That's debatable.
They
but
don't,
they're called
but
Gabriel.
Most all of them, at least of the Judeo-Christian mythology that I know, they usually have male names.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking about Dogma earlier. The big part where what's his face takes his pants off.
The voice of God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Metatron or whatever
takes off his pants and is up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
So your average audience, if you're trying to decipher the mystery of which human is going to be which archangel, you're going to be looking,
mystery of faith.
Looking at the men, and then Wait! There's this random girl who looks like an older version of the girl from Sleepaway Camp.
Oh my god, right? Right. Okay, well, let me finish this. Okay, and God dispatched 3 of his warrior angels, Michael, Gabriel, and I, Raphael, to seek out Lucifer's incarnation as man, to smite the very heart of all evil, and pave the way for the eve of the second coming of the Creator. But this still lies before us. I must see to the demon's death tonight. I'm telling you. I'm almost done, and thusly assure his rebirth for the final confrontation. Mikhail, born as my sister Margaret in this lifetime, fate has dealt us a cruel and unfortunate hand. We must be 3 as 1. That's it. And then I stopped because I got bored.
You know how much I didn't pay attention to that? Because it was all confusing to me
But because I did, I got the plot. I got it. Yeah. It was the setup. But if you weren't and didn't know that was Raphael possessing the priest and talking, you'd have been totally lost. Yeah. It was not well edited.
This movie was not well put together.
Not at all. Not at all.
It reminded me of somebody, like any sort of creative project that I did in any sort of school all the way up through graduate school that I wrote the night before. That's
Yes!
Yes!
Like, it sort of has a through line or some sort of arc, but like...
Sort of.
There are parts in the middle that are just sort of like...
It'll work. We'll do it in post.
It's fine.
Or like
right.
like the plays that I used to put down like in my basement from like my grandparents. Like,
yeah.
Let's come downstairs.
Hello. Hello, Governor. Oh, and also, why if the angel Raphael, if any of the angels were going to possess somebody, why in the world would he possess this old ass man trying to run after this very skinny young man?
Well, priest.
Yes, well,
sure. There are lots of priests.
And I'm sure the archangel was born as a child.
Because Lucifer's born as a child. I have so many questions about all the fucking parents in this town.
Oh my god.
We'll get there. Okay,
yeah.
So there's just a random naked man hanging.
Yeah.
Sure
and
is.
all these dead dogs and a giant goose.
Yeah.
As sacrifice in this
But
castle.
first he sees a man hanging like a la Jesus, you know, it's
by
like
the
by the wrist. And then he sees this like hung dog and he's like, and I'm like, what?
There's a guy!
What is the shock?
P.S. The entrance to this slaughterhouse, like, first of all, this handheld camera work is so, like, shaky and shoddy and terrible.
Yeah.
And then I love how the priest reacts to this random naked man, though. He holds does he have a lantern or a candle? I forget.
Yeah.
But
a flashlight. He,
a
bows.
flashlight. Like, looks at the body, starts at the face, gets to the crotch, and then starts to cry.
He might have been sad because it might have been...
Because he was dead and he couldn't do anything with it anymore. Fuck me. Oh my god.
Also, I like that there's a random woman who just falls from the ceiling.
And who is possessed by a demon and going, and like vomiting ichor.
Yeah, and then he just bashes her in the head, kills her. I was like, okay. Here comes Lucifer, that Doug Jones looking motherfucker. He looked like goddamn Doug Jones. I loved every fucking minute of it. Loved it.
He kind of did.
But then he started humping a tree, and I was like, okay, we're out now.
Yeah.
He was humping a tree, guys.
He comes along and first sees the priest and screams as if to say, "Hey, I'm over here. Please chase me."
Right. And every step of the way, like.
Yeah.
And then he howls and has teeth that look like potato chips.
Oh.
And then starts humping a tree. And
Yup. He screams, "I am Banamo." Okay.
Sure.
I will be
Banamo!
Okay. Then he all of a sudden becomes a girl and comes on to the priest. I was like,
right.
No, you got that one. Yep. Spot on.
Yeah.
And he realized it wasn't going to work with him. And then so he's like, well, I guess I got to kill myself.
Warm me with your touch, she says.
Yes.
Warm me
with your touch.
Mm-hmm.
And
he says, well, I guess this isn't going to fucking work.
Right.
So I'll just take that staff you got there.
And he's right. Lucifer says he will be reborn and stabs himself, kind of, with Raphael's scepter.
Yep.
With the big crazy scepter.
This is where I said the soundtrack is very Sweeney Todd-esque. I'm kind of digging it.
It was pretty good.
Everybody up in Martha's Vineyard in the next scene.
Martha's Vineyard!
We all know where the den of sin and iniquity is. It's fucking Martha's Vineyard! Especially if you got any Kennedys up in there.
Oh.
We do a pan across a bunch of random people and have
during the credits
some terrible dubbing in ADR.
Oh,
the dubbing of the children
the adult men like.
I actually wrote. I go, are they speaking English? Because I couldn't even tell when they were trying to sign that guest book or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, are they speaking Italian? I had no fucking clue.
I heard
they weren't
some.
speaking a language. It was literally like, hey, har 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 har.
Yeah,
I don't know, cigar.
Yes. Also,
watermelon. I wrote theater chick.
Are these parents in their 60s?
Right. Everybody's old.
All the parents in this movie are literally in their 70s.
Yeah.
I was so like Julie's parents when they go to what's his face's funeral. I'm like, those people are
They
literally 70
gotta
years
be
old.
70,
well,
right?
Besides the fact that all the quote-unquote teens in this movie are 40 years old.
Well,
but still.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That threw me. I didn't know if they were if that child was adopted. That's like, she was that old. But I was like, is it? No, I'm pretty sure that was their baby.
Yeah.
Cool. Gross. I'm sorry, but
we go to
christening. It has to be because that's why he does. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But
so we're in upstate New York, 1963. Baby Andrew John is being baptized, and what happens, gang?
Blood everywhere, man. Blood everywhere.
As the holy water is dripping onto the baby, and the baby's like crying and fussy, all damn day. He starts to bleed. And, like, coughs up or spits up blood at everybody, or everybody else starts to bleed something.
I mean, it's the same thing what happens later, too. I'm like, why is everyone bleeding?
Don't know.
But there's blood everywhere. My next note is, it must be for the dad. Dude, you a little slow on the uptake, buddy.
Yeah. A bit.
Also, what fucking happens to the house? Like, the house just...
It's dilapidated.
Yeah,
and they showed like a passage of time, kind of through Marion and the dad.
Oh yeah,
Greg.
Voiceovers yet again.
Yeah, more voiceovers.
It was a Mama Family style. Mama's Family style close up of the front of the house.
Oh my god! I love that reference. I love it.
Oh my god!
For you folks in the audience, if you've never seen Mama's Family,
God!
Every single episode of Mama's Family
and
ends with a shot of an exterior shot of the front of the house with Mama or whoever saying the final punchline of the episode.
That
final
show
laugh
was
and an
great.
applause.
Wow.
So that's what it was, except it was a conversation and voiceover between these two parents over the course of 18 years.
Yes, yeah. And you see the slow, decrepit, whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? The house falling apart,
degrading.
Of the house. And you learn that through this voiceover that Andrew ain't right. Andrew might be the devil, because at one point Greg is saying what's the wife's name?
Marion.
There it is.
He's like, he's pitting us against each other. Why are we letting him pit us against each other? And
how dare you put your needs before the child?
So I wrote, so they know they're raising the devil. Probably the blood thing. At the christening probably was, the first.
I really think the father eventually gets there because again, slow on the uptake, but. I think the mother knows it. I think she just knows. And that's why, by the time... A mother knows. And by the time we hit 18 years old, and then, after his birthday and everything, she's just a vegetable mess, just staring out a window.
Well, because she also gets hit in the head.
She does, but
also, the devil's
that
name
didn't
is
help.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Andrew John.
I was thinking something like, Mistopheles, but no. Andrew. Andy.
I don't think... Had Damien been done yet? I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? The Omen was before that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that was the 70s.
No.
Damn.
So we're at the 18th birthday, and I guess we found out that Andrew just walks through walls. He can walk through walls.
You sure can. Watch his shadow walk down the stairs to the breakfast table.
It's like, I didn't see you come down.
I'm also a little attracted to Andrew. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was kind of hot a little bit.
His eyes a little bit.
I was feeling it.
Well, I wasn't
He's attractive in that lovely European effete way.
And that's perfect.
That Anthony Perkins in Psycho was the same way.
Exactly. Which is perfect because that's kind of what you're going for. When you think about, well, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people view, as they can see here are, potential theories about this being a gay culture horror film. That, much like vampires, the damned in general are supposed to be attractive to both sexes and alluring and irresistible. And he very much was, you know, he was, you know, you could kind of see him either way, you know, with a woman or a man.
Right, especially the scene where he gives
more
Julie
fluid
back her book.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
she just, like, is entranced by his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually, the some sort of big heavy object falls.
Was
off
it an
of,
iron?
I don't know.
I don't know. She was
it's
reaching up for something,
yeah.
and something huge and heavy fell on her head.
Yeah, so I thought she was dead, and then we found out she could possibly be dead. She
Or
might be
brain dead or paralyzed.
Something.
Actually, I think I remember reading a synopsis that said paralyzed.
That makes sense.
For a later scene.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
That
it could have broken her
That
neck.
smoking scene was fucking creepy.
That
as
was
hell.
sad.
It was sad, but I was creeped out
Yeah.
by the way she was smoking her cigarette.
I know.
Anyhow,
Yeah, it could have broken her neck. Like, it could have turned her head
Yeah.
hard enough to break her neck. Oh, boy.
my next
Or
one is,
back.
there are literally 40-year-olds in this high school.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. All these people are, like, 35.
Yeah, it was like the high school from, like, Welcome Back Kotter, but worse.
Oh, I know. Especially...
I swear to God, I have a note here somewhere. Not one of the main ones, but the one with the red hair. Looks like Hotsy Totsy from Welcome Back Kotter.
And the guy, the Tony/Tommy guy, he looks like his hair looks like
John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
I gotta find out, like, is his name Tony or Tommy? Because
It's Tony.
It's Tony, but like that.
one of the characters called him Tommy. In the end, they kept calling him Tommy.
The subtitles screwed
are
it up.
horrible.
No,
but somebody. No, I agree. It's
one of the girls.
Police officer actually calls him Tommy. Also.
A police officer and one of the girls at the end in the chase in the castle. She's like, Tommy.
Well, do you also notice that Julie's dad at one point calls Julie Margaret at some point too. He refers to her as Margaret.
Fuck?
She's just,
So there were some continuity issues.
There's some issues that I knew what the fuck was happening.
Jeez.
I wrote, there's the literal devil in this class, and we're worrying about the trials and tribulations of fucking high school. Like, the literal devil is sitting in the back of this class, and we're worrying about, like, who's fucking who, and who's going to college. I'm like, literal devil.
Ugh.
Literal devil is right there. Thank you.
Yes.
And of course he gets straight A's.
We're trying to recreate that magic from Carrie. That there's just some sad, pale, like scary-eyed person in the back corner.
Yep.
Who, while they're passing back English papers.
Well, she's much more tragic, and he's just
Well, and yet they're trying to be tragic about him in this moment because again, this film is not consistent.
No.
The tone,
it's not. It's not.
No.
The tone and the story that they're trying to tell just is not.
Because everyone's like, that guy's such a weirdo. I'm like, he's so attractive. Everyone would be like, I don't care if he's a weirdo. Like they'd
be trying to jump that.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly. But this is
even in 81.
Right.
Get out of here.
And then, I mean, honestly, in the shit that they were saying to the teacher, I like never would have flown back in that 81.
No!
Never would have flown. I mean, it wouldn't have flown now. It just wouldn't flow now. But it wouldn't fly now, but still wouldn't have
But they do
back
talk
then.
like that.
No.
It's like...
This is where we get the I Don't Like Mondays. And if you guys don't know, I Don't Like Mondays was inspired by Brenda Spencer, who is a 16-year-old who had a history of petty theft, and she opened fire from her house at students outside San Diego's Grover Elementary School.
I remember
across the street from her for about 15 minutes. They asked her why she did it, and she said, "I just did it for the fun of it. I don't like Mondays. This livens up the day. I have to go now. I shot a pig, I think, and I want to shoot more. I'm having too much fun."
You know where she was from?
Was she from Ohio? But she was in California at the time.
Mm-hmm. She was from Northeastern Ohio.
Yep. So
I think Akron, I want to say.
It's a good song, but I mean, like, it's one of those, like,
great.
It was.
I
really
think that was the first one that was out of nowhere because they were having a full on like very audible conversation like by that locker in the hallway where the one girl like slams the other girl's head in the door and it was like, super
I paid $2 for this mirror.
And then out of nowhere, clear lyrics, like clear as a bell.
There were a lot of moments like that.
Well,
so,
also I wrote,
in the movie.
when did this become Grease? Because all of a sudden,
oh my god,
what was it? The bees, the queen bees. That's what the back of their.
There was one queen bee, and the rest of them were just the bees. I know, but they had one queen bee.
Fuck off.
Get it? Yes, exactly. But the fuck, What was I going to say? Oh, I hate that. You were talking about... Oh, I was just going to say Jeremy by Pearl Jam is also a good song, but it's fucking disturbing. You know? Mm-hmm. Just... No, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it's fine. Moving on. Apparently... Oh, then we get introduced to Margaret, the neighbor of Andrew's parents.
Again, if you're
visibly uncomfortable by this.
On fucking Wikipedia, this is where it starts going all out of whack.
Yeah, they start to...
That's where it starts?
Oh, yeah, because what they do in the synopsis, they finish describing, like, the arc of the kids in the school.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas in the movie, it cuts back and forth a couple times.
Yeah.
Right. I was so... That's what I was like, wait, what's happening?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Margaret it was weird. It was because we get this happy, like, go-lucky sort of like aw shucks music where Greg, the postal worker, is going out to Margaret's house.
Like, hey, how's your planting going?
Yeah,
and
it was
like
weird. I was like, this not this movie.
Then they'd start talking and they get really dark.
Oh, quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, because
Greg is starting to accept the fact of what his son probably is.
And Margaret's cagey about her answers. Like, it almost seems like...
she's trying to hide something.
Like she's like, her kids... She's like, it's been 18 years and no one comes to see me or whatever. I think no one responds. And I was like, does she talk about her kids? Because again, I didn't pay attention to the beginning part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes inside, and apparently she's Mikhail.
Yep.
And she starts praying and trying to speak to and communicate with Raphael. Their brother and sister? ?
Yes, because that was in the voiceover that you went through at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, she's been reincarnated as my sister Margaret.
Right.
Yeah, and again, like you said, if you don't catch that at the beginning, it's like, what the fuck is this?
What? Right. What's happening?
Then we go back to school, don't we?
Yes.
And we go back to school
where... and then Raphael tells her in, like, the little random voiceover.
The weird random voiceover. It's like...
when she's praying and he speaks to her, and that he died. And she's supposed to find Gabrielle.
Yep. Cool.
Wait, but did he die? Because who is that?
She has a vision later.
But who is like the crazy guy in the jail cell?
Oh,
later?
no, that was him. So maybe he didn't die. He's locked up.
But then Father Daly says he's dead.
But maybe he's
so maybe
not.
it's a flashback that's just not clearly set up as a flashback.
Again, the continuity of this film is all over the place.
Yeah.
So we don't really know.
No.
Jesus Christ.
We do move on to some fucking. I like the fucking.
Well, there you go.
The fucking
in the boiler room.
Yeah, we
Freddy Krueger is.
I know.
He's just hanging on the cruiser.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, where's Freddy?
We got a lot of male butt and a lot of cock in this movie, but if you're looking for tits, this is where you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Two scenes. One is like one will screw you up a little bit, I think. One would be like, wait.
One was fucking funny.
I'm finding it hot.
That made me laugh so hard. Once we get to it, God, it was funny.
Yeah.
So they, Tony and
Marie,
who's the queen bee.
Yeah.
They run off to the boiler room and have a little quickie.
I just fucked a girl named Marie. We were in the boiler room. I don't have a rhyme for
Oh, my servant. Oh my God, my tummy hurts.
This is the wonderfulness of Will.
I love it. I love all of it.
Oh yeah, so they have a little quickie, and she's just like, he makes some. Oh, he's just a piece of garbage.
At the same time, there's this other piece of garbage that's breaking into his car, who put a jack down his pants, and
Yeah, like how does that stay there? I'm like, what sort of cock pocket do you have
The cocket?
up in there?
Cocket, like Elon Musk and his cocket. And he breaks in, he's just listening to music in Tony's
and
car.
Smoking in the car, and Tony's like, what the fuck? And
this made me so angry.
Me too. Fucking liar. And he fucking lied about breaking into the car.
And Tony gets so he's like, well, the car was just the door was unlocked, and so he goes over and he just fucking wails and just hits Marie right in the face, and she leaves, doesn't she? She walks away.
No, she gets back at...
he walks away, and she, it's like...
Yeah,
something like that.
I know, it's just...
And probably just doesn't talk to him for the rest of the day.
Rough and terrible and 80s.
And unnecessary and fucking ridiculous, and I would kick his fucking ass right there.
And then it's the weirdest parking lot. Like, no one's paying attention to anything in this parking
lot. No! We're all...
People are fucking... And this one, so... Andrew goes over and brings a book to some, I just wrote some big-eyed classmate as she's making out with her boyfriend, because I had no idea what her fucking name was.
Yeah.
And then she, as she's staring at him, has visions of them having sex.
No, their hands touch when he gives her the book.
Oh.
So, she's making out with her boyfriend, and... They kind of, notice that somebody's staring at them creepily, Andrew, and the boyfriend's like, what the fuck, man? What you need? And he's like, oh, I just want to give this book back. And he gives it back. He hands it back to Julie, and their hands touch for a second, and she has these flashes of some of them in bed together, and it's very heated and very sexual, and she takes and kind of hot, and she takes the book back, and she's like, what the fuck?
I even asked her, what's going on, or I had a vision of him. I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
and that one vision scene, I will say there are some scenes in this movie that are very beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like the lighting and the production design, and in certain moments.
Because other ones, there's a lot of the rest of it, I was like, this is garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
This needs to be redone.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about the ending.
Oh my god. I blew past there because I was
cartoon fucking effects at the end. Jesus.
Oh my god. It was 81.
No. Star Wars, dude.
I know. It was so bad.
Yeah, fucking Empire Strikes Back at the fucking...
Oh, that's true.
No.
That's true.
No. So my next note is, Raphael and Mikhail are waiting for Gabrielle to be in body so they can destroy Lucifer. Raphael tells Mikhail that the day has come. That's my next note. I don't know if that's...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
So they know that someone has that Gabrielle has embodied somebody's...
But we don't know who yet.
Who it is. I mean,
at some point in here, isn't there a conversation with Margaret and Andrew's father that's just like, my son is...
That's the one where he comes...
That's the one where we don't know she's Mikhail yet, but she's gardening, and he's like, hey, how's your garden going? And they're chit-chatting.
Okay.
And it just turns very dark.
Yeah, it goes back
because he's talking about his son, and she's asking about it. Yeah,
a lot.
Right.
So the next one after that is Andrew's taking food to his mom, who's locked in a room. Mm-hmm. And if you ever notice that every time Andrew is by himself with another person, there's flies buzzing around.
I noticed that. I noticed that in that scene that flies were buzzing.
I didn't.
That's the thing when supposedly flies are supposed to be present in the presence of evil. Remember that was in Amityville Horror. Yeah, that's why that one room is full of flies.
That's why in WandaVision, when there was a random fly, everyone was like, "Ooh, Mephisto is coming."
Yeah.
Now we got it.
Now I got it.
Yay! You're welcome.
Yeah.
Amityville Horror. There's a scene where literally the whole room is just infested with flies.
Yeah.
Supposed to be the embodiment of evil.
The next note I have, I think, is way later. It's when this
going?
this boat passes by the castle, and it's like, here's blah 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 castle.
Right.
Blah,
Let's
blah,
just finish
blah,
the room with the mom then. So
yeah.
So he brings in food for her, And it's weird. It's so weird because like you don't know. We don't know. We don't know like what has happened to her to what condition she's in. But it seems like because like, he brings her food, but if she's paralyzed, she can't fucking eat it. She's also like he puts a cigarette in her mouth. It is like it is the fucking creepiest thing I've ever seen. Like the way she's smoking, it's almost like she's sucking on a nipple, and it's really fucking creepy. Like a bitty. Mommy bitty. So anyhow, so he leaves her and pretty much locks the door, locks her back in. So if like I said, if she's paralyzed, she can't fucking eat. So he just leaves her food, and it's like, peace out.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's paralyzed.
She has cobwebs on her later.
She what?
She had cobwebs on her later.
I thought you said condoms. Imagine right surprise.
Well, everyone buy them up now because they're probably going to be
God. No. I thought, I thought maybe she was just like, I mean, it's possible not, but I assumed that she was just brain damaged.
Who the fuck knows with this fucking movie? Now we get to the sightseeing tour.
Woo! Bonomo Castle!
We get a little bit of the story about the history of Bonomo.
Bonomo Castle. It's like this cruise ship or some shit passing by the castle and talking on a loudspeaker about the castle to its passengers, saying that it's set for demo for a golf course
and spa.
And spa. Of course. Isn't
Andrew
fucking everything?
Andrew just happens to be like hanging out. Sacrilege. And then he puts in.
He literally tries to bring it back to life, you guys.
He like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers onto this fucking statue.
There's so many. By the way, like sometimes
and the cartoon goes up.
Sometimes my D&D life, my Dungeons and Dragons life, converges at times with horror movies. Mm-hmm. That's definitely a moment and where it was like, you know, he was channeling divinity. Of his god, of his daddy,
of his daddy.
Of his daddy.
Sorry guys, CLBC we both are just like no daddies, no. I don't like the word.
I don't either.
Well, audience, we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, because I did see a meme of Oscar Isaac from Dune, and it was like, Daddy, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah.
With that beard, I see it.
Hot.
I'll see you in my pocket. So, the next one I have is, oh my god, so this is where we learn everyone else's name, Mark Landers. Mark is Julie, big-eyed girl.
Her boyfriend or whatever.
This fucking proposal made me so fucking angry.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know.
No, he's like so excited.
There was a point where she was like, well, I have no choice. Oh my god, you fucking know!
She goes, I have a choice? Fuck you, dude.
Yes, you do!
Because he's excited because he got into Columbia.
Like, that's a cool thing. Like, yay!
Yay, the end. Let's celebrate that.
Right, we can go to college.
Else.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to be Dr. Landers and Mrs. Dr. Landers? No, I do not. I'd like to be Dr. whatever hyphen Landers.
Right.
Yes. Dr. Bandsaw.
Bandsaw Landers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's an interesting way to accept a proposal. Like, she doesn't seem like she's that excited about it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking blame her.
No.
But also, you wonder if this were a more nuanced film, like, would she perhaps have been excited about it if she didn't have visions of Lucifer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
perhaps.
Maybe in her previous life, the previous day, or is this the same day? Who knows?
Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? But like maybe in her previous life, she would have been excited about it, but now she's conflicted.
Yes, because she's like, it's great.
I saw
great.
and me getting some real good dick. So
right,
much better than Mark Landers.
It was like romance scene from Top Gun Hot, so I don't know, guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is the Prince of Hell, so he knows how to, hit that
He's
spot.
a prince!
He knows how to hit that fucking spot, dude. I'm sorry, guy. He can also just make it as big as in short or wide as he wants it to be, so,
Or cone-like as he wants. No, I'm kidding.
He gets it up and to the left.
He's a lefty.
Get that JFK reference in there. Shot into the left. This is where I wrote a note. Just says the soundtrack is fucking baller.
It really was.
Tony tries to get Andrew now to smoke pot. And again, insults fucking again, because he's the fucking worst guy.
He's the fucking worst. Oh, but he says, one of the things, he's like, kind of egging Andrew on to smoke pot with him for apropos of nothing. They never talked before or knew who each other, and he's like, oh, it's not going to give you tits or something like some people say.
Well, this is where
I'm only saying that because it comes back.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think this is where I think the actor playing Andrew is really does a really good job, because like you see in his eyes, like, he's disgusted by the things that Tony says. Mm-hmm. And it's for that moment of like, I'm not going to feel bad when I fucking kill you. Like,
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
But neither are we.
But at the same time, I think that's Andrew. I think like there's definitely, he knows when to play Andrew, and then he gets cat eyes and he plays Lucifer. But I think like this is a moment where he's like, fuck you, dude, you're gross. Like, yeah. I think we get that as an audience member.
Yeah. What does he say though to his girlfriend, Queen Bee, whatever her name is?
Well, obviously
flat-chested or whatever.
Yeah, obviously didn't.
Yeah, she smokes pot all the time, and she's
as flat as
a board. Or
yeah, and then she says something like, "Well, if you could screw." It obviously doesn't. Her comeback wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good. Sadly.
And
it's just not great.
Yeah, later on, he does some really. He just leaves her high and dry. I just wrote, Andrew's not bad for the devil, honestly. Then we get to the scene. We get to the shower scene.
Yes!
I don't.
Will, why don't you tell us about the shower scene? How do we start this?
Listen.
What the?
Alex Jones, listen.
Listen. Listen.
Listen. Ooh, to the sound from deep within. So, what this brought me back to.
Oh, boy.
We're bringing it back.
It's not as scandalous, but it brought me back to, because, there's a weird thing among straight boys in high school.
Sure.
Yeah. That, like, they don't know how to handle, like, being affectionate in a friendly way at all, and so, like...
Correct.
It oftentimes comes out as, pretending to be gay in a jokey way.
Yes.
Yeah. However...
That being said...
In my experience, granted my experience is growing up as a gay boy in high school, closeted as I may have been until the age of 15, but I wasn't in a high school locker room past the age of 15. So, but in my experience, any of that joking does not happen in a locker room.
No, it does not.
Because we're all naked and vulnerable, and we're not gonna even pretend to cross any lines because things are going to be weird. And so,
just look down, mind your own, and
we go into a locker room. We slowly watch these boys strip off their clothes, and they're all joking around with each other, but there's no real dialogue. We don't visually...
Do not engage.
Yes, we don't visually or auditorily, focus in on any specific conversation. And then everybody's fully naked, and we go into the showers. Andrew's already in there by himself, just, slowly cleaning in a beautiful
minding
way.
His own business, by the way.
He's very much enjoying that shower.
Yes.
Certainly is.
I'm not gonna lie, I was turned on by him enjoying that shower.
I know, he was feeling himself, yes.
Go lower.
You can tell he was probably directed to do something like that.
Sensual.
Then the first line of actual dialogue is something like, "Oh, look, ain't Andrew pretty?"
Yeah, agreed.
But And then Tony is the one who then takes that ball and like really plays with it. but I'm like, but Tony, you have the most feminine hair like in the show right now.
Thank you.
So like, where do you have room to like joke about this? But then the joking.
I find that usually the ones that are most insecure about it are the ones who turn back.
Yes, but it's like, hey Andrew, what are you doing later?
Yeah.
But he wanted it, and then Andrew's just.
You want to go on a date with me?
Creepy friend of his keeps egging him on.
Yes, and just trying to ignore him and like keep to his shower. It's like, well, if you're not going to give me a date, at least give me a kiss. Now, here's the thing. As a teenager, if something like that happened to me, I would simultaneously be really, really scared and like really uncomfortable and felt really unsafe, but also would have secretly hoped something like this would happen to me. Because it took me back to somebody that I knew in high school who, like, again, before I came out of the closet, would sort of like joke around with me, and like in the instrument room off of the band room would like come up behind me and like grab my tits jokingly, and I'm like, oh, don't stay there too long because
like, this scene is literally like how every gay porn starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, but then it takes a turn because
I get questions about this kiss. I
get
questions about what exactly happens in this whole scene. Keep going.
Yes, but it's so Tony comes up and grabs Andrew by the face and kisses him, and yes, and then suddenly something happens, and it's unclear for a moment as to who the aggressor is or what's happening, because suddenly Tony doesn't want to be in it, but he seems to be like pushing in that direction. So like maybe it's like a Lucifer mind control moment or something.
It's very interesting. It's because they flip a couple times onto the wall, like who's in control of the kiss.
Yes,
right.
It was definitely a tango.
Yeah,
a little bit,
and it's really interesting that everyone stood back, like no one was trying to break it up.
Yeah,
it was like they were entranced by what was happening
because they didn't understand either.
I still don't understand. I mean, I was okay with it.
I really felt like it was almost like Andrew made his mouth magnetic just to fuck with him.
Well, later on, Andrew also kisses Brenda at the very end, and she starts bleeding from the mouth. He doesn't have like vampire teeth or anything, so there's something with his mouth, whether it's like something.
I think it's his power. And he's starting, and this is also a point in the movie where he's starting to kind of come into himself, come into his own power. There's no differentiation between Lucifer and Andrew. And it's also, I think in this way, it was also sort of to protect him.
Because we leave the scene, everyone leaves, and Andrew is just in a ball crying. Like, he's just, it's so sad. It's so sad. Like,
because it's another thing that is also unclear throughout the movie. Like, I think in some scenes, like that scene, like, I feel like there may have been an Andrew who wasn't aware that he was Lucifer.
True.
Yeah.
Growing up. And but then there are some times where he's still clearly Andrew, but he does know. It's not...
Particularly right before this, when he, hears about the castle. And he says, like, sacrilege, about Bonomo Castle. That this belonged to, essentially, his father, the man that his father possessed. So, he's aware... At least in that sense. I just thought it was really...
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. This scene is actually, honestly, like, it's... I don't know how much it works with the timeline, but I think honestly, it's probably one of the best scenes of the movie. Honestly. Also, it's hot.
It's very hot.
And my postscript to this scene is that after... Tony has his freak out in the corner, and his whatever his friend's name is comes like, hey Tony, dude, what happened?
Yeah, he's like, don't tell anybody.
And like, don't tell anybody about this. And then like he gets up to leave, and his friend like almost accidentally grabs his cock.
I noticed that.
And I'm like, If this were a movie with a larger budget, that would have been a reshoot moment because
it would have.
Dangerously close to an X rating.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah, we are.
Whoops. Yeah. Just a little wink.
And then it became my favorite movie of the year.
Damn.
What?
Oh my god.
Then it's like almost like, here's one cool thing that's happening.
Oh my god.
Okay, Margaret going to church. Cool.
Take him to church.
Take him.
Before she gets into the church, the two random boys just wrestling.
Oh my god!
That was creepy. And
she didn't stop that.
And it was like, hey,
it's a crazy witch lady. Boom, boom, boom.
It was like, it wasn't even. It was.
There was ADR again.
Yes,
and
that's what I was thinking.
And they stop. They stop wrestling for 2 seconds to say, "Oh, look, it's the witch," and then they go back to wrestling.
It was the weirdest wrestling. I was like, "That's kind of sexual. It's creeping me the fuck out right now."
It was like, it almost looked like two dogs, and one's trying to mount the other.
They looked like we were doing a doggy style. I was like, I'm creeped out by this fucking scene.
It's not okay.
It was not okay. So they go to talk, and all I had was Father Arthur, because we don't know it's Father Daly. We found out later, which is funny because we all know it daily. Father Arthur says pretty much like, she's like, well, we have, this is happening. Lucifer's coming, dude. Lucifer's here. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And she's like, well, Father Damon, is that his name? Yeah. Damon died for this cause. And he's like, yeah, because he killed somebody, dude. And
right, we don't talk about him.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Father David.
Right.
So, he's like, we went to jail because he took a life, which he really didn't. Well, honestly, though, he did take a life of that fucking possessed woman who fell from the ceiling. So
yeah, he did.
It was 2 actually, but this scene doesn't really go anywhere. We just kind of are introduced to Father Daly. That's pretty much what this scene does.
Yeah, I don't think he reappears anywhere else, does he?
Oh no! Well, he's the director.
Oh right, the play
of Christ on the Beach.
Yes. Beaches. Christ beaches.
Baywatch. Christ watch. That was fucking weird.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You guys remember that play, that musical that used to go around here about the Passion?
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
Rock Nativity?
No, Tetelestai.
Tetelestai, that's it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. That's all I could think of with this whole... Yeah.
One of my friends from high school was in it when she was super young. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. I went with a church group to see it.
FYI, the same sort of showmances happened in Tetelestai. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Just because it's a show about Jesus.
So then we switch to a really good scene again, is where Andrew is in Julie's bed, and they start like...
Oh my gosh, it is hot!
This is the scene that made what's-his-name an executive producer of this film.
But then it starts getting... because he says, come to me. I am the light. I was like...
And he keeps saying that? He keeps saying, come to me? I'm like, damn!
I will come. So that's fine. So...
It's hot.
It is hot, but then it turns into rape, and that's not cool.
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
because he tears out her arms, and she wakes up and she sees a figure outside the window. And it was like, the hair was different, so I didn't know if it was... We find out it is Lucifer from... the future, but it just looked like it could have been anybody. Could have been like it didn't look like, to me, it did not look like Andrew. Outside the window.
Yeah.
She goes to look in the mirror and check out her cuts on her arm, and it's another woman staring back at her in the mirror on one side, and she's on the other side. I was like,
you know who it is? It's Margaret.
Is it Margaret?
It is Margaret.
It didn't look like her.
Yeah, I know, because her hair was down and it was different, but it's supposed to be Margaret.
Oh, okay.
Hot Lips Houlihan, as I was calling her, because she looked like the chick
from
MASH.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, it was at this point that I started fast forwarding every, like 10 seconds worth. So from here on, I fast forwarded a lot.
Yeah, okay, got it.
I'll just chime in.
Kind of figure out that she's Gabrielle.
Yeah.
I like this scene. Andrew meets with his counselor. and discovers that he's gone into Yale and Columbia. Like,
also, I just quickly want to say she wakes up from a dream and has the scratches she got in the dream, which is the tie to the next movie we're going to talk about.
Yes!
Yes.
But supposedly, Andrew's getting into Yale and Columbia, full ride. And this is the other scene where you hear the flies buzzing around when he's meeting with the counselor. Now we get to the gym class, where Andrew's 50,
this is the last note I have.
50 seconds late to class, so he's got to do 50 sit-ups and 50 push-ups while everyone else plays fucking dodgeball.
Lame.
The gym teacher starts getting more and more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And because he is being, like, pushed by Andrew, and then Andrew gets cat eyes.
Yes.
And then gym teacher fucking lobs this ball at Mark Landers and fucking ruptures his organs. And he dies.
Yep.
The fuck?
It's real. He's like writhing on the side of the bleachers, almost like he's stuck there. Oh, it's nasty.
And then the coach has like a crumbling orgasm of terror. And
I know.
And, crawl. He literally, like, the way that he crumbles and then like half crawls. It literally looks like he came and then tried to crawl. It's like,
it is.
Oh my god.
Agreed. And there's probably something to be said for that, probably because then the camera then focuses on Andrew, who is a crying, crumbling mess in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's actually whimpering.
Yeah.
And again, I think this is like the last vestiges of Andrew as a person before Lucifer
fully takes over.
Yeah.
And that's the last note I have, you guys. That's when I stopped taking notes.
I don't have a ton more because lots of shit starts going into like real quick now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's parents in this town are elderly. This is where I noticed because this is the fucking funeral, and Julie's parents are 70 years old. She's a teenager. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then I noticed that Margaret's at the funeral for Mark, as is Andrew, and Andrew's in the back, and Mark comes over and leaves a rosary on Mark's casket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know much about that scene. It just was here. It was.
Yeah.
And Andrew saw Mikhail put that on the coffin, and he's like off in the distance, and he kind of is like, "Oh fuck," and runs off.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing.
Yeah, it happened.
It doesn't. Yeah, it happened exactly. So then we can start getting Julie starts seeing the world through Raphael's eyes. Like she's like coloring, and it's supposed to be, or like writing. It's supposed to be. We have a shot of Raphael doing the same thing, or Father Damon doing the same thing, and
in a cell.
In a
somewhere.
cell. Mm-hmm. She then leaves and goes to Margaret. And I wrote whatever movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there somewhere? Was it the funeral scene that Andrew made a branch fall on Margaret's head?
Right after.
Okay.
Because Margaret goes. Margaret prays over her grave, promising to kill Lucifer.
Ah.
And Andrew's possessed again. He gets cat eyes and breaks a branch that knocks Margaret out.
That's right. The note I had about that, the makeup of the gash on her head was terrible.
Oh my god! I know.
It was terrible.
It looked like fucking something from like Halloween, like a Halloween store.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Halloween. Yep. Then we get So Margaret keeps telling Julie, "Who sent you here? Who sent you here?" And finally, she forces her in front of a picture of Father Damon, and she says, "Is this the person? Do you recognize this person?" She's like, "Yes." So we know that again, Julie is Gabrielle. Here's the scene I fucking hated. It's where Andrew kills his goddamn dog.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that was not okay. I definitely fast forwarded through that.
I mean that puppet.
Look, Luna's like, what the fuck?
That was a good puppet.
No, it sure was. It was the like as catch as the rest of the movie is. This was disturbingly real.
Yeah, and not okay.
No, I mean like. He was really sad. Like, I didn't get
Ray's
upset.
dog Luna doesn't like this topic.
I didn't get upset when like he actually kills it. it was the pushing of the body to push the
Yeah.
blood out.
Oh, I know.
With like the eyes still open and staring straight at the camera. And,
Yeah.
A+ fucking work on the practical on that one.
Practical, yes, but trigger warnings, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm the one who goes over and like usually looks I usually check does the dog die, and I did not check does the dog die.com on this one, but
it was a random dog.
yeah, well, he's gonna it's this adorable it's a Irish setter.
Yeah.
And he definitely drinks his blood.
Yep.
And then starts screaming in this like demonic voice. Starts getting naked too.
Oh yeah, he takes off his shirt, and that part's nice.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I'm here for that.
He's taking the time to build a nice little Antichrist altar in this random bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Candles,
upside down crosses.
Yep.
A little table with.
He's
with
setting up.
accoutrement,
He's
you
playing.
know.
He's planting.
Setting
He's
up
making
a room.
himself a little nest.
He's nesting.
He's nesting.
So then we learn that the town's going to put on a passion play, and Margaret's trying to tell Father Daly maybe not a good idea to do this.
It's kind of the eve of the second coming, like I was trying to tell you, and
Father Damon left him a diary, and he said, "FYI, today's the day."
Yeah.
so don't make any plans.
The mayor of the town has brought along ace reporter Dick Walbacher.
Can I call you Dick?
Is it okay if I call you Dick?
Yeah.
And he's gonna write an article for syndication.
God.
Oh, fantastic.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Why are we wasting time?
Oh,
I don't know.
I sped through that. I was like, I don't think there's any information here.
Nope, there was none. Let's see. This is where we get Psycho Killer, and I'm so fucking excited.
Oh yeah. We're in the car.
Before that, the people start arriving for the passion play, right? Mm-hmm. And my favorite part of this is once all the people are seated on the beach with their blankets and their chairs, and hippie Jesus comes down the aisle and tips his thorny crown to the crowd.
Oh God.
Everybody gets like, Jesus.
Kid.
Oh my
so
God.
bad. That is so terrible.
Duff my crown to you.
Buddy Christ.
Oh, Jesus, that's right. But yeah, we get Psycho Killer as Marie and Tony are fucking in the car. And then he decides he's like showing her his gun. And then he starts to fuck her with the gun.
Well, before that, she's like...
Before
that, she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's like, you're a little crazy, aren't you? And he's like, I'm fucking bananas. And then they start to make out, and they're about to fuck, and then he like shoves the gun up her dress, and she says, "This thing ain't loaded, is it? Just don't cough."
I actually laughed at that line.
I know.
It was a good on you movie.
I mean, yeah. I was saying before we started recording that I actually my watching of this movie was in 3 parts because I kept falling asleep halfway through.
Yeah.
So I don't think I saw that scene until the second time I watched it, so it wasn't until the third time that I heard that line, and I'm like, well, that was worth the rewatch then.
Yeah, that was worth it.
Yep, agreed.
God.
Oh my God, and then we I mean, it's at this point they're going between 3 different scenes. Mm-hmm. So you've got the teens in the bar, you've got the passion play on the beach. You got Christ Watch.
Down by Christ by the bay.
You got Andrew, who is at the island of Dr. Moreau, and he is like raising zombies at this point.
Yes.
From, with cornflakes on their face. That was an IMDb.
That is correct. Yes, it was made out of cornflakes. And a reminder again, just another thing that was foisted upon this movie that the writer-director did not want as a part of this movie. It was like, listen, zombies sell. You gotta put some zombies in.
What are we even doing?
Yeah. So then the teens...
We have all this makeup. What are we gonna do with it?
We're gonna jump because holy shit, we've been talking about this movie. So the teens take a boat over to the island. Mr. Williams, after he loses his fucking mind at a bar, who is Greg, Andrew's dad.
Greg Williams, yeah.
Yeah, breaks into his wife's room, and shoots her in the head. So...
Just before she says, please.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, also, when she walks in, that's where there's cobwebs all over. So,
and I feel like you can feel it. It wasn't a please of, like, please don't.
No, it was take me out of my misery.
Please fucking do this. Mm-hmm. God.
So the teens get over to the island.
So sad.
And they are taken over by zombies. And at the same time, Jesus is starting to experience the real stigmata. Like, he's fucking everything.
They got him up on the cross, and they're doing that final, like, and they're doing the final crucifixion. Yep. He literally, dies the death of Christ.
But then the audience starts experiencing stigmata or something, too.
They're bleeding from, like, their forehead.
Yeah, it's
kind of akin to the baptism scene from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where there was a bunch of blood for no reason.
And it's also really bad special effects blood.
Yeah.
Oh, it was real bad.
It's real bright.
Like the stigmata, it's not even like holes where blood spurts out. It's just like spots of blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like a gunshot almost.
There's there's no tear.
We could bling Jesus. All of a sudden, Jesus gets struck by lightning, and all of a sudden he goes blinging.
Like cartoon skeletal, lightning.
There's a lot of cartoon lightning in this.
There's a lot of cartoon shit.
This is when we go back to Carrie. Like everything starts.
Yeah.
Everyone starts dying because of powers.
Right.
Sure.
Well, and then this is where Julie and Margaret show up. They have a cop car. I don't know how they got a cop car, but they just showed up in the cop car.
They were at the dock. They were at the Passion Play. Yeah.
Trying to
get a boat.
Yes, they were trying to get... because Julie was missing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because she left home to go...
Because Mikhail doesn't have a fucking phone.
To go and find Mikhail.
And is living like a fucking pioneer.
Yes.
Yeah. And she rips on her about that, too.
That's right. And so then when they go to try and get a boat to get to the castle on the island, the boat guy calls the police.
I think I found her for you.
I think I found her.
That's right.
And then they pick up those two, but then it isn't clear. We don't see this happen, but clearly, like, while he's driving them to the police station, the policeman gets a call on the radio. Hey, people are dying on the beach.
Right.
So they end up on the beach in this cop car.
I just wrote, what the fuck did they get a cop car?
And how the fuck did they get out?
Right, because they get in the back seat. I'm like, you're not supposed to be able to get out the back seat of a cop car.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
But they do.
Movie magic.
And then Margaret... And then they see the stigmata, and then it's to the temple, and Margaret jumps in the front of the cop car and drives it
to another random boat. There's that random boat that was there.
Yep.
They start going over. At the same time, Tony and Marie are making out and getting zombies attack. Tony fucking leaves her ass to be eaten by zombies.
He so does.
Sure does.
Yep.
He so does.
But he goes and he finds Brenda, and he's like, "Hey, you'll do. Come with me."
But there was someone else too that he was trying to make out with before Brenda. Mm. Yeah, this guy's a fucking dog.
Earlier in the movie.
No, after when they're in the water.
That wasn't Tony.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
Yeah, no, there were two boys and two girls.
It was the other guy. Maybe that's why I got confused, because she called him Tommy. That's why I got confused.
Yeah. No.
Okay, got it. Never mind.
So yeah, he finds Brenda, and they try to flee the island, but the boat's sunk at this point. So they go upstairs somewhere, and somebody want to tell me what happens with Tony?
Ooh,
this is fun. So,
because he's been smoking a little too much pot. What?
Oh my god, this was so great. He's like looking at himself in the mirror, and Brenda's on the floor like, and he's looking in the mirror and feeling himself, and his chest feels a little bigger than it was. And he opens his shirt, and there's tickle bitties, and he's like, and he screams.
Yep, he's got a nice rack. And he freaks out.
Yeah, he freaks out. And then Andrew comes along, i.e.
in
Lucifer.
full Lucifer garb. Just
in
wear
the
your
full-
baggy gown,
Yes.
makeup,
Gorge.
yes, queen, yes.
Like, barely covering his pee-pee.
I
Yes.
love
Barely.
this. I fucking love this. He's gonna rape Tony. I mean, that's pretty much that's because Tony's like, I got tits now, I guess, so whatever.
Got anything you need. Anything
So
you got.
I'm wondering, and this is just wondering, is if that's not the only accoutrement he has now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder.
I don't know.
I wonder.
Well, also because like the next beat of this moment is that he takes a knife and Tony takes a knife and stabs himself and kills himself rather than be raped by Lucifer. But if you
That's fair though.
But if you watch,
Agreed.
fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
But
fine.
That tracks.
If you watch the way that he does it, he almost stabs himself in the
I thought
crotch.
the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, he's gonna go for
He
the dick.
almost stabs himself in the crotch, but then doesn't.
Yeah, he goes up with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, he's gonna cut himself in the dick.
God.
But I wonder if it's something weird, like not weird, but because Andrew is, is specifically in this movie a male, and so, but Tony is the object that he has to make himself completely fully Lucifer. That he has to be a female to be able to consecrate the right to make him Lucifer.
Oh,
Maybe. I don't know.
See, these are explanations that would fully fill out this movie.
I could just be blowing smoke on my own ass.
That will maybe make it coherent, but this is not a coherent movie.
It's not.
It would have, but there we go.
Because also he takes Brenda, like, because honestly,
Then he takes Brenda.
all characters, I don't even fucking know this girl's name, but he does take Brenda, old Brenda. He lays her on an altar.
And goes, you'll do.
You'll do in a pinch. He kisses her, and then she starts bleeding. It's whatever, and then he stabs her to death. At the same time, Margaret and Julie show up on the scene, and
Da, da, da.
yeah, they
have the scepter somehow.
Yeah.
Because I guess Gabrielle knew where to find it.
Well,
they pulled it out earlier.
Yeah, I think Margaret has kept it all these years.
Oh,
or
okay.
something like that.
Because at one point, like, all of a sudden Julie's like, it's the scepter, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Margaret forces Andrew to recite the Lord's Prayer.
Oh, but this is after the beautiful chase. Lucifer gives chase.
Oh, yes.
He's in his pretty dress.
Oh,
And it's a callback to the very beginning when Raphael is chasing after Lucifer.
That's right.
It's beat for beat the same chase scene.
Mm-hmm. Even ending at the humping of the tree.
That's
Yes!
The same thing.
Yes! And at said tree.
Yes, but he's wearing a pretty dress this whole
straight.
time, which is even better.
Gorge.
Gorge.
But you know what's really interesting? By the end, after he transforms into Lucifer, gown's gone. The gown is not there anymore. It's just a random, like, robe thing.
It's something else, but it is still ever so delicately draped over a dick.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Also, notice he's got weird hair on his legs at the end when when he's Lucifer. Let's just pound this out. That's what she said. He transforms into Mark, tricking Julie and thinking that, and she's...
Don't kill me. I'm your boyfriend. Man.
Which, by the way, makes the beginning even creepier because, like, he's transforming into somebody that Julie loved in order to trick her into not killing him. Which means that he did the same thing for Father Damon by changing into a small child girl.
I bet you that's Margaret. That's his sister. I bet you that's Margaret.
You know what? You're right. You're probably right. It's probably the child version of Margaret.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know though. She said, "Warm me with your touch."
Feel a little bit better. Then it's not.
Yeah, I think let's call that bad writing so that I feel better.
Okay.
Sold. Warm me with your touch is not sexual. It's been decided. It's just.
I mean, yeah, the old dark house. We had some incest and lesbianism, so we're.
Yeah.
Will you warm me with your touch? How does that not sound? Okay, but moving on. We got to get to the end. We're almost there. Let's drill it.
Margaret in your neck, and then Andrew is full on Lucifer, and then the effects are fucking awful. It's all cartoons.
Yes.
The three angels make one, And then they destroy Lucifer. The end. Literally the end. We go dark
They
screen.
like shoot a sunbeam via the scepter that's like pew pew at Lucifer for 30 seconds too long.
My last WTF is what makes this staff of godlight work?
Movie magic.
Movie magic.
Just because it's supposed to happen at this moment.
Yep.
That's just.
I thought it was the 3 as 1, but Raphael wasn't there yet.
Captain Planet, and then
oh my god. Wind! Fire!
And then they make Captain Planet, and Captain Planet
He's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0.
Captain Planet. Okay. This fucking movie, guys, is fucking awful. Oh,
we finally made it.
Alright, recommendations. Let's get this fucking over with.
No. Ratings.
Well,
Recommendations are at the very end.
I always say that, and I mean
Alright, ratings. So we have our ratings on a 4-point system, on a 5-point system, 4 categories. Ready? Number 1 is blood droplets for blood and gore. Number 2 is little scary little ghosts, little cute little ghosts for spooky / scary. Then what have you fruit emojis for sex and nudity, and cold black hearts for fun and entertainment. So here we go. Number 1, how many blood droplets do you give it out of 5? Blood and gore.
Blood and gore. Let's say because there was blood.
There was. It was bright red paint, but yes.
It was bright red paint, except for a dog. There was a scarily realistic dog.
Oh. That was not cool.
Gonna say 2.5. Sure.
Yeah, this wasn't very bloody.
It wasn't that bloody. I said 2. So that's pretty.
I'm gonna go with 2.
Yeah, it's right on. Spooky scary. How many scary little ghosts do you give it?
Is it? I wouldn't call this. Well, again, other than the dog.
It was pretty fucking lame.
Yeah, so it may have been like a 1.75.
That's good. That's that's really brilliant. There were moments. There were a handful of moments where you were like, oh, what the? Okay, maybe this movie's gonna. Nope. No, it doesn't.
No.
So I gave it a 1.
1.
Yeah. Sex and nudity. Pick your fruit.
Yeah. Well.
Or vegetable.
We're gonna give it a nice, hard, throbbing, 4.5 eggplants.
There you go. Ooh, say it slow.
I love it.
I gave it an eggplant and a set of cherries because I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, there were some cherries.
I'm sure there were some cherries popped. Gotta be.
Yeah.
There were some tits.
I wish there had been more like fucking sex. Like.
Yeah.
I didn't need to say penetration, but I'd like to have like an actual like sex
That
scene.
is true.
Yeah. I thought we were gonna get it with Andrew and Julie, but
yeah, and I'm gonna go with 2.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Meh.
Yeah, that shower scene though, that's
was crazy.
Butts. There's a lot of good butts.
A lot of great asses.
And the way it was shot, it's really on par with when you
there was some side dick.
You run into vintage porn.
Yeah, real bushy.
Yeah,
John Holmes.
Good times.
Anyway. No trimming. No trimming. Fun and entertainment. How many cold black hearts do you give it?
Yeah, this movie again. I had to start it 3 times.
That should be sign enough.
Yeah. I'll get, It's like a 0.5.
Yeah. I said 1.
Yeah, I did not have fun.
No, it wasn't great.
I was too confused.
The last half of the movie, other than for time, because I was trying to get here on time, I was also just trying to get through it in my life and just fast forwarded most of it. Yeah, it wasn't great. So, Fear No Evil, 1981. We did it, gang!
If we were doing on 5 stars, what are we doing 5 stars?
Oh, that's right. Letterboxd. Overall, 5 stars? 1.5.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Same.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross.
Cool, all right.
All right. After 2 and 2, we will come back to Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
We're going to take a brief respite.
And come back with Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I totally almost burped in the microphone, but I did just before.
Fuck you, man.
I did
do that
just
so that I can edit it. Fuck off.
You can leave them in. I don't care.
I care.
Okay, fine. Hey guys, welcome back.
I love you, but right now.
Oh my god, hi.
All right.
Alaska. Hey Will.
Hey, Wayne.
Oh my god. Welcome back. Are you enjoying it?
Oh, I'm having such a good time.
No pressure. I mean, you can say if you're not.
Drinking.
You can tell us if you don't like us.
We are laughing and drinking and having a party.
Having a good time, like a shooting star racing through the sky. Anyway, okay, sorry.
FYI, that's the second time we've done that on a show before. FYI,
on this show, I believe.
Yeah, no, on another episode. So maybe the third time we've done it. So awesome.
It's a great song. I mean, fuck.
I mean, well, Queen is fucking Queen. There's a reason it's called Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Speaking of. Just kidding.
Dancing Queen,
There you
young
go.
and sweet, only 17.
Mamma mia.
Here we go again. Will, in reviewing these two movies, before we start talking about Freddy's Revenge, we had mentioned before in the podcast that you would kind of come across this film, watched it, and then became curious about the others, and that's kind of how, this whole thing started. Mm-hmm. What, A, got you interested in it, and B, did you feel upon watching Freddy's Revenge, did you feel it was overtly gay, or was it more subtle?
Oh, no, this is absolutely a gay movie, like 100%.
Like a gay movie, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's... And to be clear, like, I don't necessarily think, like, a character in a movie has to... Well, actually, I guess this character isn't gay in this movie, technically, but it doesn't even
He's not supposed to be.
It doesn't even have to be, like, necessarily homoerotic or something. Like, we were just talking about Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia is a fucking gay movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
So, but it's a sensibility about it, and there are just things about this movie. Not only does it echo the gay experience in the way that the main character is feeling, but it also just the imagery in it is just I almost don't know how to describe it. It's just super gay. Which, interestingly enough, I would not say the same thing about Fear No Evil. Because
see, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, Fear No Evil does have homoeroticism in it.
Right.
But it's not
I don't
gay.
think, if anything,
Right.
it was homophobic.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think.
I think the power of that is because of the Catholicism.
Yeah.
But
A lot.
I think people figure that it's gay because there's a whole bunch of guys naked in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And they kiss
Because of that one scene.
But it's not a statement on whether it's good or bad in that sense. It's not like, well, obviously he's the devil, so he's obviously because as we said at the end of it, like he has to find a female vessel to become Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know.
So answer me this. Just to offer a perspective here. What particularly about, maybe we can talk about this after, maybe that would be more apropos. Mm-hmm. What specific things about this movie made it quote unquote gay to you?
Yeah, but It's possible that I could be more specific at the after this discussion, but it's because it's there's just a certain perspective of how things are, the way things are written, the way things are shot, like what's focused on, and that type of thing. It's the way that it feels.
Yeah, even the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Especially like some of the shots.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
I don't know.
A drawer. That's all to say.
Yeah.
That was, and apparently, according to the documentary, that was written in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Yes. So P.S. documentary we're talking about, in addition to watching this movie,
yes.
I think we all also watched this documentary called Scream, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is about Mark Patton, who is the star of Nightmare on Elm Street.
In a previous episode, I don't remember which, I recommended it, but it's going to be part of my recommendation again today. So you'll hear about it again later. So again, we talked about this a lot in our last episode, that the reason why we're isolating this part of the Freddy genre is because of the gay culture. It's because of its gay text and reference. Because it's akin to Halloween 3, where it was so unlike and had almost nothing to do with the others that it was isolated itself.
Well, and I've said to both of you before, Mike, this is not a Freddy movie.
Yeah,
this does not feel like an Elm Street movie.
It really doesn't, and because of that, we definitely felt justified in isolating it for Gay Pride Month, as opposed to whenever we do the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series, we will skip this because we skipped Halloween 3 for similar reasons, which we might back up later for another kind of, if it fits into another box.
Well, Halloween ends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I rewatched this documentary, and Will and Ray also did. I did it before, and I kind of wish I had done it after watching Freddy 2 again, because it delves into the story of Mark Patton, what happened before, during, and after the filming of Freddy 2, of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And what happened to the lead actor, Mark Patton, and how it affected him and his acting career and life. And honestly, it's a sad, sad story. We'll get into it later. But I think I was looking for the text. I was looking for it in watching this movie. And as a straight female, as a straight cisgender female, I have to say, and I know you guys are going to roll your eyes at me and yell at me, I was really trying to look. Not that I found that they were being subtle, but other than the lead actor knowing that he was gay, I was trying to kind of watch it and pretend that he wasn't. Mm-hmm. Because... Yeah. That's what his agency wanted him to do. They wanted to see if he could carry a movie and also play straight. And after the movie came out, they're like, okay, you can carry a movie, but you can't play straight.
Although
So I'm like, what made it gay, quote unquote? Was it his scream? Was it the writing? Was it the script?
Well,
was it the actors?
The documentary, like as I texted you, the straight actor in Robert, what's his name? Can't think of the guy who plays Grady. Literally said, "This is a fucking gay movie." Like,
yeah,
he was.
He knew it from the get.
They all knew it. So I think, I think that's where the anger comes from. The documentary.
Robert Rusler.
Yeah, is like they
he
all
is
knew it.
Still hot, by the way.
Oh my god, he is. They all knew it, but who's the writer? What's his name?
David Chaskin.
David Chaskin refused to admit it.
And that's what pissed Mark Patton off, justifiably, because not only did David Chaskin refuse to admit it, that's not what pissed him off. But he recanted later and changed his tune. And Mark Patton was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think they all...
And blamed it on Mark Patton.
See, and I think they all...
And said it was casting that made it gay.
They all went in knowing that it was a gay film. I mean, again, my buddy Robert Englund, is very vocal about his how he approached the film and how he approached it. He did it,
I think, in a very sensitive way, but like you said, he knew.
They all knew.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Mark.
I think so too.
At this point, he was a 24, 25-year-old kid.
I think what happened was it was so stigmatized as being the gay film, and everyone was like, and I think they thought they were going to be sneaky, not sneaky, but they were going to be like clever about it, and they realized it was like, because unfortunately, it is not one of the most well-received of all of the nightmares. Yeah. So I think they're like, oh, well, we thought it was going to be, more well-received than this, and we thought we were making a statement, and then all of a sudden it wasn't like, oh, it isn't a gay film. It isn't.
Yeah. It did have a following.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did touch some people, and he mentions that in the documentary. He mentions some of those moments where people were like, I looked up to you and everything. And he's like, what do you say to that? Like,
well, it's kind of like, we've talked about this before. We talked about Heather Langenkamp saying people come up to her and said, like, you're my hero because my family, like, gay people have come up to her and say, you're my hero because my family is my Freddy. Mm-hmm. And so you have been through you, I've been able to make sense of this world that I live in right now, or to like stand up to my Freddy. And I think there's something beautiful about that.
For sure.
And there is a connection. I mean, we talked about this last week. Last time is like there is such a strong connection for the gay community and horror community, because I think it is that otherness. It is that
you can choose your family.
Well, you can choose your family, but you're also like a lot of times, especially when we talk about like Frankenstein.
People turn you into the monster that they're scared of.
You're the other. You're
outside that in fact,
and or this movie more along the lines of like it focuses on a character who the allegory is generally like the queerness inside of you is something that you don't understand, that you're scared of.
Yes.
That you're trying to deal with.
Well, and on that same note, I'm going to ask, so we talked about Fear No Evil. Could we also possibly say then, is Andrew's confliction inside of becoming Lucifer?
It could be, but again, that it's not clear. It's not clear.
It really isn't. Not like this movie.
No.
If I may...
If it was intentional, but it's not intentional.
Right.
One of the many people that they interview in Scream Comma Queen, in the documentary, and I'm sorry, I know we want to move on to the movie.
Honestly, I don't care if this thing's 4 hours.
I know. It's really good. 2 hours, it's really fun.
Really care.
So, among the many people interviewed in the movie was this guy named Dr. Andrew Scahill, assistant professor of film studies at the University of Colorado in Denver. That was a mouthful. So,
that's what she said.
There are two quotes that I wrote down from the documentary that he says. One of them refers to the monster as the homosexual.
Oh, I have that one too.
He said the relationship between horror film and reality is reciprocal. That horror films do reflect culture, but they also give us a vocabulary to talk about things in the real world. And the other quote was, there's three ways I think in a horror film to think about how queerness emerges. One is this sort of homosexual as a threat to others, and often the homosexual is linked with sadism or violence in the horror film. There's the homosexual threat to the culture, that they represent something as foundationally and antithetical to the family or to the future. And then the third way is the homosexual as the monster within that would emerge and that we have to constantly repress.
There's There's a
so brilliant. He's a brilliant guy.
There's an actual Lewis Black joke where he talks about homosexuality as everyone. It's a threat to the culture, to the family.
Right.
He's like there's like a group of homosexuals going door to door, and
right.
He's like, we're gonna come in and fuck each other, and it's gonna make everybody gay. Like,
right. Ding dong.
Yeah,
right.
As their family's eating dinner, and they just come in, they start fucking each other. And it's ripping apart of the American culture, the American family.
Yeah.
And that's where to me, it's like
it's like bullshit.
How does how are two guys who enjoy being love each other? Is it going to wreck my world?
Right.
As
Right. How does that my old man, right, may he rest, he was pretty homophobic. He was racist. He was a laundry list of things. However, when the shooting at the Orlando Pulse Club happened, when that happened, something shocked me that my father said. And you know what he said? He was like, these kids were minding their own business. They were in a place where they felt safe, minding their own business, being with other people like themselves, and this tragic thing happened. And it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because again, my old man, very homophobic, very racist and whatever, but he said that, and he was struck by how fucked up that was.
Yeah.
That leave people alone. He may not like what other people do, but if people are leaving it as their own business to do, leave them the fuck alone.
And honestly, that could be said for a lot of things, especially
many things. Let's not even. Hey, who wants to talk about Nightmare 2: Freddy's Revenge? Oh, I wish I could enlist Freddy's help on this. Anyway.
Right off the bat, this is a stupid subtitle for this movie.
It is. It fucking is, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah.
Revenge for what? And
why?
And upon whom?
I was...
yeah. First thing I wrote was the opening music kind of reminded me of the music that's played on Tatooine in Star Wars.
A little bit.
I don't know why.
Yes, the track also called Twin Suns, I think.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh my god, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I know. I am too. I
have never been so proud of you.
I'm going to do a correction, because afterwards, after our episode last time, and I could not remember Salacious B. Crumb, I wanted to flog myself later. Which Salacious B, the B stands for bodacious. Anyhow.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, there's the music, and also subtitle. Not only is the subtitle stupid, the font of the subtitle is a goofy Claris Works 3.
Yeah. You might as well just fucking put Comic Sans at this point. Like, fuck it. Just be like, we got $3 million. Fuck it.
Oh my god.
Yes. I thought the same exact thing. I was like, well, no one's trying. I'm like, no one's trying here.
Jesus, this is why we need Will, because he knows this random shit.
Because it was literally in my brain. I was thinking, I didn't put it down, but I was like, this is literally like the dumbest fucking font.
Jesus. Jesse.
We get a smash. What do we get? We get a smash cut.
Smash cut. Jesse, our lead, is on a bus driven by Robert Englund. Haha.
Yeah. I said he looks like a creep in this part. I was like,
well, he's kind of supposed to.
He doesn't
in
look
fairness,
comfortable in his own skin. Like he looks like he's just like.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not wearing makeup now. I don't know what to do.
Direction. I need direction to do something. Yeah. Also, yeah, those bus windows never would go down. When you try to open those fucking bus windows, they would never go down.
Those buses looked like they were from the 60s.
Agreed. I thought that same thing, too. I was like, those are...
So, I'm pretty sure they're rusted shut, kid. Like,
that's a weirdly shaped bus. Almost like I feel like...
bubbly.
Yeah, I feel like they built that bus from scratch to look weird and dream-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, I thought the same thing. I was like, this seems like a 60s bus. I think, yeah. Also, shorty shorts and mullets. Shorty shorts and mullets.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking everywhere.
In the 80s.
We are.
85, kids.
The 80s. When... The 80s was a time, friends.
Balls.
It sure was.
I barely existed in the 80s. I was born...
Well, kind of same to me. I was born in the middle.
Over halfway through the 80s. But even I know that the 80s was a time that was simultaneously super homophobic.
Yes.
But
yes.
also super gay.
But also super gay. like it was so homophobic that there wasn't a gay awareness.
Right.
So so there were boys in short shorts and crop tops and things happening.
I mean, think about Glenn for the first one. Glenn in that the football jersey thing that he had. I mean, like.
Well, and again, something that was pointed out, and I'm sorry to keep harping on it, but something that was discussed in the documentary was the timing of everything, and the time that this came out. This was 4 years into the AIDS epidemic. So, and they pointed out that like in the late 60s and throughout the 70s, between, free love and disco, that sexuality became more and more fluid. Mm-hmm. And it was more and more accepted and more acceptable to be that. Then AIDS happened. Then suddenly, it was the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then everybody had to jump back into the closet.
Yeah.
And then we have this movie.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So fucked.
Also, did you guys notice? So after the bus starts to careen off the fucking road.
Yeah.
Did you notice that there's a body glove sticker, but the G is covered up and it just says body love on it. I laughed a little bit.
Oh. I did not notice that.
Yeah, I was like,
I tried to look in, but I didn't pause it because I was like, I don't care that much.
Pause it. They lingered on it for about 2 or 3 seconds. I was like, you're trying to tell me something.
I know, I just didn't catch it.
Body love, I get it. I see you, movie.
I see you.
We have Jesse on the bus
with two preppy girls.
Randos.
With two rando 80s hot blonde girls.
Yeah. Who are creeped out by him. Which I was like, okay, well, we don't know why.
Yeah, should I ever tell you?
No.
That my boyfriend's brother once called me 80s hot.
Yes. Oh my god, we talked about this on the podcast. Yes. I was like, what does that mean? You acid wash jeans or Will's face?
I'm like, do I scrunch my hair?
But I wish it was.
I'm.
Do I scrunch my hair? Wear scrunchies?
Even I'm not exactly sure what I meant by 80s hot, so I don't know what that means.
Me neither. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
I'm wondering if it's Kim Basinger.
Sure.
You know what
I'm like,
saying?
does that mean plain?
No, Kim Basinger's was banging in the 80s.
Yeah, she was.
But that's the 80s.
But that's fine. Moving on. Let's get to this fucking movie.
Well, is that okay?
It's sort of what happened at the time, because Cindy Crawford was 90s hot. You know what I'm saying?
True. Mm-hmm.
Not that she's not attractive today, or wouldn't be, or the 90s version of her wouldn't be attractive today, but she was definitely 90s hot.
She was.
I'm not saying I don't know what you mean.
Courtney Cox, 90s hot.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
I mean, also half of her face isn't her face anymore, but that's...
Yeah, and she'll admit to it and she regrets it now, but unfortunately...
Yeah, I mean, it's real...
Yeah.
Steps we walk through.
Yes.
We'll have our dark days.
Walk through the fire.
We walk this lonely road.
So the bus is careening.
Yeah. So the bus starts to the ground starts to crumble around the bus because it's actually stuck at this point.
And actually, let me break down the imagery of this dream. So So let me...
Yes.
Since we're talking about, gay subjects and things in this movie, let me break down this... What is, spoiler alert, turns out to be a dream, this whole opening sequence.
Yeah. What?
If you're a gay having a fever dream about high school, there is no place scarier than the bus, except maybe the locker room, which we also get there. But
yeah, we do.
But on the bus, especially when he is left alone looking his mousiest in the back of the bus.
I noticed that too,
with two 80s hot bitches who are laughing about him.
Yeah.
And then...
The bus is teetering back and forth.
The bus is teetering back and forth, and then suddenly it's on a giant rock phallus.
Oh!
Yeah.
Just
Yup. Also,
teetering.
The model work was really bad here.
Oh, it's
real
terrible.
Bad. It's bad.
It could have been better. It could have been better.
Yeah, but it's a lovely matte painting from 1962.
Yeah, I was waiting for a fucking train to come out of a tunnel at some point.
Yeah.
Like a Looney Tunes. Yeah.
But yes. So we're teetering back and forth on the top of this rock, and then suddenly the bus driver is Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Kidding, not a spoiler.
Because we're in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this is where we also get the infamous girl scream.
Yeah.
Because he wakes up, and I did laugh.
One of many.
I did laugh at the sisters. Mommy, why can't Jessie wake up like anybody else?
Like normal people.
Yeah, yes.
She is fucking cute. I love her.
She was cute. I also wrote Mark Patton is hot.
Mark Patton is beautiful.
And again, homoerotic imagery.
Yeah.
Because I also watched Nightmare 1 just to remind myself what a Nightmare movie is supposed to be. That this is the 80s. Tidy whities are a thing.
Yep.
We didn't really get to fashion underwear until Calvin Klein and Marky Mark in the 90s.
Yup.
So
doing one-handed push-ups.
Yeah. So tidy whities are a thing everywhere. Comparing to the two dudes in tidy whities in the first movie, Johnny Depp and what's his name, who played the other other asshole who.
You're and the other guy
and the rest.
Yes, compared to the two of them and how it looks those tidy whities. Not that those two guys weren't attractive in their own way, and they were toned and built and stuff. But then Mark Patton has a bulge that you can see.
Well, he's a teenager. Morning wood.
Hey.
Well, at some point, he also adjusts himself.
He does, getting out of bed.
I was like, what? I was like, he just grabbed his dick. Okay, cool. We're going to keep going.
I think that honestly might have been a knee-jerk reaction, because I feel like dudes do that.
Well, I thought to myself,
right?
Is this
You can adjust yourself getting out of bed.
Yeah. Well,
or before you go to the bathroom, anyway.
Full disclosure, I don't wear clothes to bed anymore, so
there you
that's
go.
not
Why
really
bother?
Right, but
why bother?
But at first I was like, "Was this the take we're gonna go with?" Or okay, well, cool.
Tight. Okay, tighty whities.
Cool.
So he wakes up and...
This is actually where he adjusts himself. I said, why did he adjust himself after getting out of bed?
Yeah.
I
also noticed that... I don't recollect, if you've seen the first movie more recently, did Nancy wake up all sweaty and shit?
No.
Not nearly like him, right?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a running theme throughout this movie. That Freddy equals heat.
Yeah. Right. Equals boiler room. Right. So,
which we will get to. Because
so Jessie constantly wakes up dripping sweat.
It's 97 degrees. At one point, the dad's like, "It's 97 degrees in the house." I'm like,
"Oh, I know."
Move.
Right.
Get out of
the house.
Yeah. Go to a hotel.
Right. Jessie comes down to breakfast and says he's been, feeling uncomfortable sleeping because his room is hot, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with the air conditioning.
My first note about this whole thing was like, why is Jessie dreaming about Freddy Krueger?
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know. We as the audience don't know. Because we don't know
whose house they moved into. Yeah. You can see U-Haul boxes. They just moved in.
An ugly ass fucking couch.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get there. I'll get to the couch.
Yes, about the dad. The dad is the most dad of all.
He's the most 80s dad of all dads.
He's 50s dad. He's not 80s.
He's 50s
dad. He's 50s dad. Yeah.
Her dad.
but this actor is hysterical.
Oh my god, he's so
Agreed.
funny. He's
I
so
love him
funny.
so much. Even,
I do too.
Even in the documentary, as a person, I'm
Yeah.
like, you are incredible. Sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
him and the
so
gym
cute.
teacher. The gym teacher was like kind of like
He was like the actual guy. He's a really nice
yeah,
guy.
but he's also like the gym teacher's even like y'all didn't know this guy.
Oh, I know.
I was like,
I
yeah,
felt
no,
kind
right?
of bad. Like he volunteered for it.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I just remembered. I was talking about the dad actor in the documentary. He wasn't in Scream Queen, the documentary. He was in the Never Sleep Again documentary, which is the audience.
He was in Scream Queen for like a second, but
the 4-hour documentary that's about the entire Nightmare franchise.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Nightmare 2, and he's like, well, I didn't know about the gay subtext, and his comment was, nobody gave me a blowjob on set, I'll just say that. I'm like, you
are a treasure, sir. You are a treasure.
You are an American treasure. Thank you very much. You're a gift to the nation. We love you. And going back to it, back in the 80s, it probably would have done it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's really fine.
Talking about daddy's bringing it back.
Oh my God.
Then we meet Meryl Streep. I mean, what? This bitch looks like fucking
She
Meryl
really
Streep.
does.
And I was trying to
She
think of a
really
nice,
does.
Meryl Streep. Yep.
Meryl Streep. Jesus.
I mean, you could just, this might as well be like,
i.e. Kim Myers.
Yeah, Control C, Control V, Meryl Streep.
She really does look like Meryl
looks
Streep. A
fucking
lot
just
like her. She's gorgeous, though.
Now, I will say, regarding her, and later in the movie, I may regret saying this, but just on the whole, the cast of this movie, as compared to the cast of the first movie, you can tell that they made some money on the first movie because they spent some money, maybe not on special effects in this movie, but on casting. They are significantly better actors.
I love Heather Langenkamp. She's a horrible actress.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's adorable, and I think she's done a lot for the genre as a final girl, but she is just god awful.
She's not the worst. I'll say that. She's not the worst. Debatable.
Yeah,
so,
and I will say, like, Meryl Streep towards the end of this movie
It's pretty bad.
can't really hold it together as well as she does earlier on. But,
agreed.
But on the whole, the cast of this movie,
Right.
And clearly, because of what we know, A, from what we know of the documentary, and B, having watched this film again, the director, there's a lot that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, you're also moving from Wes Craven to John Travolta.
Right. Yeah. So, it was not...
Somebody suggested, it was on We Hate Movies, and they were suggested that, like, John Saxon should have just stayed on as almost like a Loomis character through all of these fucking movies. And I think that would have been a really good way to tie them in. John Saxon played Nancy's dad.
Father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Also,
he's gorgeous.
John Saxon.
Oh. He's like... with the eyebrows
wig,
and the...
I would have like...
No, is he more straight hot?
No, again, 80s hot.
80s hot.
Exactly. I think he would have been like, whatever, what I'm doing this game for? Yeah.
Whatever. I'm the sheriff.
Yeah.
He can... okay, so we get to... Lisa...
They're in the gym. This is gym class, isn't it?
Did I really... No.
Yes.
Wait. Yes, you're right. Before Lisa comes over, I wrote, oh man, I had the same couch. Then Lisa...
It's okay.
That
it's
brown
okay.
cat. I know, I missed it. Lisa comes over for a ride from school. Jesse gets gym class.
The janky car.
Oh, yeah.
That only he can start.
Kinda. I don't know what that's a metaphor for, but it feels like it's a metaphor for something.
No one's gonna steal it.
Maybe,
Except for Lisa at the end. Anyway, we'll go. Jesse, they're playing softball in gym class. The boys are playing softball.
Hardcore. Like, it's hardcore.
Baseball.
The boys are playing baseball. The girls are doing archery.
Which reminds me of 10 Things I Hate About You so hard.
A little bit, yes. So
shoots that guy. Yeah.
This is the era, and it reminds me of my favorite gym class story of high school.
Oh.
Here we go.
Which is when the boys and the girls were split up on the week that we were doing our football unit.
Oh, God.
And the boys and the girls were split up because it was just expected that all of the boys already knew how to play football.
Uh-huh.
This one didn't.
No.
And so the boys just went out on the field with a football, and the coach, the teacher, who was also the football coach at my high school, just said, "Okay, blah blah blah, no rush on a punt, blah 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 blah," and blew a whistle, and then we were expected to play a game.
Cool.
And like to the point that like somehow I ended up with the ball at some point, even though I tried to avoid it as much as possible.
Wait, what am I doing? What is this thing?
And literally, I had the ball in my hands, and I had to stare at this gym teacher and literally say out loud, "I have no idea what I am supposed to do right now. What do I do?" Meanwhile, all the girls spent like 2 days inside with the female gym teacher and like a whiteboard of her explaining how the game of football works and like
Fuck off! And, like, I'm so angry right now.
Drawing diagrams and explaining the rules and all this stuff.
That's so fucking sexist.
I am furious right now.
Jesus Christ.
I went from 0 to 60 in about fucking 2 seconds. I'm fucking furious.
Will, her eyes are black like mine get.
Yep, exactly.
The doll's eyes. The devil's eyes.
Rage!
Yeah. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Girls can't handle fucking playing football.
They and later in the week they eventually did play football amongst themselves,
sure.
But they got to spend 2 days having it explained to them.
Although I'm gonna be honest, I would need 2 days for someone to explain football to me.
Yes,
I still
listen,
don't fucking
need more than that.
I'm not saying that that's not true. What I am saying is like if
you should have known because you got a dick. You should know what football is.
Exactly. If we're being good teachers, we should teach everybody because I certainly did not know.
Yeah. Or make sure that everybody did know.
Well, it should just be like with every new sport you're learning. Like, this is how we play this game. Here you go. Here's football, soccer. Here's how you play soccer.
That's how we played every other sport. I mean, we didn't stay inside and learn the actual sport. It was like, we played like fucking easy stuff like softball and dodgeball and volleyball. Not saying that it's simple. I'm just saying that it was not as like basketball was way harder. Soccer was way hard. You know, things like that. That they would have to actually like break down the rules of each game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Side note, my other favorite gym class story is when we were split up into co-ed groups and playing half-court basketball, and my modus operandi with any game was to avoid the ball as much as possible because once I got it, I did not have the ability or know how to do anything with it. And the female gym teacher this time walked past my half-court game and came up to me and was like, "No, you're supposed to guard this person. You're supposed to block them. You're supposed to try to get the ball." Mm-hmm. And I didn't say this out loud, but in my head and my face very clearly said, No, I know. I know what I'm supposed to do right now. But if I get the ball away from this person,
I don't want it.
What will I do then? I cannot dribble a basketball.
I do not want it.
Information will be moot. It will be a moot point.
You don't understand. I do not want it.
I cannot dribble a basketball. I cannot shoot it when other people are trying to block me. Like I can't deal with that type of pressure. So like, no.
There is something to be said about having worked in a Montessori school and Montessori gym classes. They're just like, throw the ball around.
Right.
Throw a frisbee. Gym class! It was wonderful.
Yay!
Speaking of gym classes, I love that.
So here we are, gym class.
Here we are in gym class.
Jesse. Sorry.
Well, Grady hits the ball and it beeps Jesse right in the fucking head.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And then my next note is, holy God, is this gay?
Yep.
Holy God. Because they are just wrestling. They're wrestling.
So after that, Jesse then gets Grady out at second, which is the position he's playing. He gets him out at second, and then they squabble. And Grady pulls Jesse's pants down, revealing his tight ass and jockstrap.
Yeah, he was.
And then the coach says to assume the position. We all know what that means. Push-ups.
Yep.
That's right. Is it even push-ups?
No,
or
I think
is
they're
it
doing planks. They're doing planks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking
It
sucks.
sure does.
Yeah.
Well, and again, this is the 80s, back when, physical punishment was still a thing that was allowed. And,
Yeah.
By a gym teacher, anyway.
And jock straps were things that were worn
Yes!
by all teenagers.
Because I was thinking, I was like, wow, he's got a jackstrap on. Like, I mean, besides,
I know.
my first thought was like, what's all of this? Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I had to wear a uniform for gym class. So
I had to wear shorts and a shirt, but that was all the uniform I was
Yeah,
getting.
weirdly, middle school and junior high, we had to wear a uniform, and then high school, the quote-unquote uniform was that we had to wear shorts and a shirt that said the name of the high school on it. So, like, it could be a cast shirt from Drama Club, it could be, like, whatever, but, like, it had to
But
say
half
the
the
name
stuff
of the
that
school
these
song.
people were wearing, I was like, I wouldn't have been able to wear that in
Nope, me
gym
neither.
class.
No.
Those are, well, the girls in particular. So this is where where Grady tells they're doing their planks, and Grady tells Jesse, well, the coach hangs around queer S&M joints downtown. And then he also says, this line again, 0 to 60. Are you mounting her nightly or what? Meaning Lisa. Meaning, is he mounting? Is Jesse mounting Lisa
Right, are they
nightly?
doing it? And it's like, P.S. If you notice, the coach is smoking in his office.
He is.
I'm like, we could still smoke in school back then? Excuse me? I guess just in the office.
Well, I mean, I think you could do it anywhere at that point. Also, I'd spank Grady. I would spank him.
Oh,
Yeah.
so bad.
Hard.
He still got it, too.
Yeah, he does.
I still would.
Yeah, because he's also on all those, there's a whole bunch of documentaries on Shudder that are like, there's 2 3-hour ones.
Oh.
It's like pretty much like the evolution of horror movies, and mostly 80s. And he's on it a lot, doing like talking heads, and he is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So we also learn at this point, because they're changing in the
back in the locker room.
Yeah.
Grady tells Jesse about who used to live in his house. He said chick went crazy when she saw her boyfriend get mauled to death or some shit. Murdered. Across the street.
Yeah.
And that's why there's bars on the window.
Well, and he also says, which isn't true, is that he says that her mom locked her in the house. And she went crazy from being locked in the house. Which I don't believe is true.
No, she actually did.
Did she?
In the first movie, yeah.
She barred.
Towards the end, when she put bars on the windows,
Yep.
and she locked the door, and that...
Yeah.
Did she, well, it's really funny, because, again, I'm going to bring up the, Nightmare 3, they talk about, they're like, Freddy must have, like, an age requirement. You can't be, like, over 26 to, like, kill somebody. He's like, because Nancy leaves, because Nancy's in 3, and she leaves, goes to college, and comes back. And she's not messed with Freddy until she's back in Ohio, so, it must be the house. It must be the general vicinity. He must not be able to cross state lines.
Yeah.
There's an age requirement and a regional requirement.
Well, it is. It's about the town, because the town, in the first one anyway, the town was the one that revolted against him. They're the ones that killed him. So of course, I think it makes sense that he would be kind of bolted to this town.
Yeah, agree.
In Elm Street in particular, I don't know why, but
Yeah. Well, I think probably that's the one thing that the franchise picked up from Nightmare 2, probably. Because after the first one, you could probably go either way. Either he needs to follow the descendants of these people who killed him, or he needs to stay in the area, and Nightmare 2 establishes that it's the area.
Right, because there's no reason for him to be haunting Jesse. Jesse's parents were the ones who lit him on fire, so...
Yeah.
But I agree. It just must be regional. It must be a boogeyman of the regional area.
Or he just is obsessed with a house at this point. because of Nancy.
Freddy's coming for
Yeah, a little bit. That's not fucking creepy.
After another sweaty night for Jesse,
he's also wearing hospital scrubs for some
I know.
Thank you. I thought I was like out of my mind. I was like, why is he wearing hospital scrubs?
Neither of his parents seem to work in a hospital of any sort.
It's either like he's one of those ones like his wardrobe is nuts in this movie. It's
yeah,
either, like he's got a random sweater on. Or his shirt, he has an unbuttoned shirt, like completely unbuttoned with no shirt underneath.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no in between. He wears a tank top once. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It's so fucking weird.
But Jesse then, he gets up and he heads to the backyard. He looks in the basement and he sees Freddy Krueger putting things into the furnace. So he's like, fuck, there's somebody in my basement. So he goes back in the house, and at this point, you as a viewer know this has got to be a fucking dream.
Right.
He goes in the house, and he sees that he opens the door to the basement, and he can hear there's somebody's down in the basement.
Yeah.
So again,
he struggles. He kind of struggles with the knob. The door won't come open, and then kind of walks away, and then bumps into Freddy.
Right. And this is the scene in the documentary that I fucking love because Freddy starts caressing Jesse's
my
face.
gosh.
And this is the part where in the documentary, Mark says the makeup designer was like, stop, we need to do makeup on Mark. And he pulls Mark away.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, do not let him do that because it looks like you're fucking filleting a fucking knife.
Right.
Because Robert Englund went a little too far.
And he asked, but Mark was also a very new young actor.
Right.
And so Robert Englund was like, I'm going to try some things. Is that okay with you? Which is very, respectable for one actor to do with another. However, sometimes things just don't work. But nobody pulled them back.
Right. No one.
The director should have.
A little much.
The director should have done that, and instead, in this case, according to the documentary, the makeup director was like, "Stop! We need to, touch up," and pulled and tried to get it back to.
Yeah, because he's like, "You do not want to be on screen looking like you're blowing him. It's just
not. Let's not do that.
Not a good look."
No.
Agreed. Because it was
very.
It's uncomfortable enough as the caressing is.
Right.
Because.
Well, the director apparently was so clueless. I doubt he was that clueless or when it comes to, and I'll want your opinion on this.
Sure, but again, like I said, this was the 80s. There was such a veil of just like
people were closeted.
Yeah, there was, and I guess I would need to talk to somebody who and sadly, this is touched on in the documentary too. There's an entire generation of gay men who don't exist because they died from that time. But I would I would need to talk to somebody who was an adult at that time to see it would in popular culture was there really just not that much of an awareness. It feels like there wasn't an awareness in a lot of people
I kind of think you're right on that one because if you talk to my mom, she's like, there were gay people that she went to school with. She didn't know until, after they were out of school. She's like... Because
people were stigmatized.
Yeah. It's like...
They had to go back in the closet.
Weird. Yeah, they were weird.
Right.
Or, as we say, queer. They were queer.
Right.
We don't
at my high school reunion today, after we graduated, there were 0 gay people in my class. After I graduated, there were 7 fucking lesbians. Mm-hmm. One of whom is transgender. I'm like...
But yeah, we got 90 fingers on a face.
In the mouth.
You say that, the partial quote that I have is, Daddy can't help you now. I need you, Jesse. Mm-hmm. You've got the body.
No, I got that one too, yeah. I got the brains.
I need you for special work.
And then scream, Queen, once again.
Yeah, because he rips his damn top of his head off and we can see a brain.
Tell me if you saw that in front of your face, you would not fucking scream.
Yes.
Well.
Child, yes.
Ciao.
Go ahead, do it.
Oh, scream? No. I need to protect my voice. Are you kidding?
Well, that's fair. Amen. So he wakes up and he's covered in sweat. Have his parents not noticed how fucking hot it is in his room?
They're house.
I know! He's like covered in sweat again. And they're like, oh, it's okay, baby. And like, wouldn't you think, whew, maybe it is a little hot.
We get this amazing next scene, which is the biology class. And he's falling asleep in his biology class, and Grady's sitting there, like, keeps looking over at him. And because they're, like, joking, like, oh, check out Jesse over there, falling asleep. Mm-hmm. And the fucking teacher throws a real heart right on the fucking table. I was like...
Was it a cow heart? What was that?
Yeah, it was a cow heart.
It's like fucking God.
And then all of a sudden, this fucking boa constrictor starts crawling up his shoulder around. He starts to constrict
Jesse. Because Jesse's fallen asleep by this point.
And then he's also nice swatch watch.
Yeah.
My notes literally say, suddenly a boa is wrapped around him. Wait, this wasn't a dream? Because...
Oh, I know, me too. I'm like, oh, wait, it's a real fucking snake.
It's real. I was like, did no one notice this fucking snake broke out of the fucking terrarium?
Right, or like freak out, and you're yelling at him because he screamed because there's a fucking snake around his neck!
People behind him were like, snake!
Yeah. Boa constrictor! Right. It's constricting!
Yeah, it's doing its thing!
Meanwhile, like the way that his friend, that Grady, across the aisle, I feel like it was a prank that like he pulled on him or something.
Could be,
but that's not clear.
No, I do like his little he's flipping him off.
Flip the bird.
That was cute.
And did you write down what the teacher said? I didn't write it down, but I remember. He was like, if you want to play with animals, join the circus. It's so fucking dumb.
One in the Never Sleep Again documentary, Wes Craven's main criticism of this movie is that like there are a lot of vignettes, but no like real solid through line.
True.
And this is
agreed.
This is a super illustration of that. Like this is related to nothing.
Exactly.
At all.
I mean, we get to the bird part. Let's talk about the bird part.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, the dishes get struck by lightning. What? The toaster?
Yeah.
None of it makes fucking sense.
You're absolutely... I mean, Wes Craven is absolutely... He's absolutely right, because that's why it's so kind of... There's nothing threading it all together.
No, there's no story here. When it comes down
there's no through
story.
line. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next... In order to go... so Jesse calls up Lisa and he's like, hey, girl, you want to go out? And she's like, yes. And she...
It is an 80s excuse to see her in a red swimsuit.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Blue.
Yep. Fast times.
Oh, it's blue?
She was wearing blue. Because she's got beautiful red hair and blue eyes. So I was like, I know.
Fast times.
Totally right.
I know, right? It was cobalt blue. Anyways.
Totally right.
Just an ass. Anyway,
in order to go... This is me not remembering a girl's swimsuit because it has no effect on me at all.
Oh, well, duh.
Either, and I would have checked it out.
So in order to go out with Lisa, his old man is like, nope, you gotta fully unpack your room, and he's like, what the fuck? So he does what we all do, and turn on some sweet 80s jams.
This song, we all know this
and
song.
Gets to work,
What is that song? You all know it. I mean, it was
I don't. I was trying to look it up, and I didn't have time.
All right. You keep talking, I'll find it.
Yeah. It's not a song that I knew either.
Me neither.
I did. I was like...
Oh, no, I did not know. And not only... It wasn't even on the radio. He put in a tape. He had the album. He's starting to do his little thing. He's dancing around.
All night long. Make me love you. Kiss and hug you. Touch me.
Hey.
All night long.
Hey.
It was a pretty well-known song at the time.
He pops off just as his mom and Lisa enter the room. Does anybody knock?
It's a pop gun come.
It's a pop gun.
As his popper goes, pop off. Yeah. Also, did you guys all notice what the game he had in his closet was?
Oh, yeah,
Probe.
Probe! I was like, what? What the fuck is that?
They mentioned that in one of the documentaries. I forget which one, but
oh man,
yeah.
So,
well, the dancing. It is such
banging
beautiful
his
dancing.
butt against the
twerking against the drawer.
Yeah.
that was written in the script.
Yeah, and Mark was not happy about it. He just it was exploitative. I mean, that's what. But then Lisa's like, "I want to help you, clean up."
Because she's so super sweet.
She is.
Lisa finds Nancy's diary in his room. The entry is as
Because
follows.
she asked, "Do sweaters go in the closet?"
Yeah.
Nope, but I do. What? What?
The following entry is written, March 15th, he comes to me at night. Horrible, ugly, dirty.
Yeah,
well, first she's talking about...
Because he starts reading it sexually, and then also like, oh, fuck, he's talking about...
Well, no, he starts reading it, and then he's like, oh, hey, can I see that?
Because at first she's talking about, at first she's reading an entry where Nancy's talking about, just staring across the street at her fine-ass boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Then...
He's like, oh, can I read that?
Yeah, let me do that, girl. And he's like, he comes to me at night, horrible, ugly, dirty, under the sheets with me, tearing at my nightgown with his steel claws.
Yeah, that's when it's like, wait, hold, what?
What?
Mm-hmm.
His name is Fred, and he keeps trying to take me to the boiler room. He wants to kill me.
See, and here's the thing. You notice she says boiler room.
Yeah.
We don't go to a boiler room later.
Basement.
No. We don't go to a basement.
Oh, it's a plant.
And it's not a power plant. Let's just we'll get there.
We'll get there.
It's a salt manufacturer, but that's fine. No worries. Because it's like the same one over.
Yeah.
Anywho, so just so then
yeah, but also again, gay subtext. It's he's reading these things and sort of realizing parallels of stuff that's happening inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, this is a thing that somebody else.
Right. Somebody else felt this way.
It's like when you're starting to come out to yourself.
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone. Somebody else felt these things.
Having that connection to
and oh shit, but if I'm then this person, then oh wait, oh
yeah, sorry Lisa,
yeah, it's another piece of allegory. But then also P.S. this is stupid for the franchise, because why the hell would Nancy have written a diary with all of this detail about any of this?
No, and
it wouldn't have been found, by the way,
when they cleaned the house out to sell it.
He goes to the basement and...
Someone fucking call the HVAC guy at this point.
I know, right?
Jesus, when your records are melting in your house.
Well, the dad was an obvious douche about it. He's like, it just needs a Freon shot.
A shot of Freon.
Yeah, fucking ass. So Jesse goes to the basement and pulls out Freddy's glove from the boiler.
I'm assuming he's in a dream again at this
point. Freddy appears and tells him to put it on and kill for him.
See, but we don't know if he is, because at one point, right after that, he then trips, falls, and then Freddy's gone. So does he wake up? We don't know. I mean, we don't have a differentiating, this is a dream and this isn't.
Yes, these things are what make it not a part of the rest of the series of movies, because the rules of who Freddy
has to have been sleeping
is in and out of dreams is blurred / broken /
right, because we will see that with Grady and Jesse later too, because it's supposed to be a dream but it's not, and there's a point where it's, because with one, when they're dreaming, it's a dream, it's a dream.
Wait a minute.
What?
No, I'm going to poke a hole in this. If you've watched the first one, remember when she booby traps the fucking house? Mm-hmm. In reality, she wasn't dreaming. She fucking booby trapped the house.
But that's because she took the initiative to pull him out of the dream.
She wanted to. It was a Home Alone situation.
She pulled him out.
Yes.
How?
She
lured him.
She discovered in an earlier dream that she was fighting with him in the dream and grabbed his hat and then woke up with his hat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So she realized that she could bring shit out of her dream.
Right.
Okay.
So her plan was to force somebody to. Initially, it was supposed to be Johnny Depp, but he ended up being killed in his dream. Mm-hmm. To force somebody to wake her up in the middle of the dream while she grabbed onto him, to bring him out of the dream, so that then he could be killed because he was in the real world.
Okay, well maybe then that makes sense because he has the glove. So the glove
That's something from the real...
pulled him out.
Yeah.
So that way that there is now... Okay, so I poked a hole in my own fucking theory here. So it's now he has the glove in... Because the next scene is where he wakes up and the glove is moving in his dresser. It's moving on its own.
Yeah.
So he has the glove that gives Freddy the ability to move back and forth between dream and reality.
Okay.
This shouldn't be this fucking hard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I believe it.
But it shouldn't.
But it sucks.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
Really sucks.
Oh, now we're getting... Wait, just before we get to that, we get back to gym class, and one of my... I wrote down a few random quotes, but this is one of my favorites.
Mine too.
Okay, I'll say one. Hey, Grady, do you remember your dreams?
That's the one. Yep, I wrote.
What's the answer?
Only the wet ones.
Oh!
Boom! Love it.
I fucking love that. It's so good. So it's hot in the living room, and now it's
hot in her.
It's hot in her.
Yes.
It's 90
No, but before that, it's like Coach Snyder's got a stick up his ass. Coach Snyder's always got a stick up his ass. Cause gay. And then Coach Snyder says, hey.
Something like, hey, girlies, or something like that. Yes. But not girly. He doesn't say girlies.
Yes. And then
they're doing the...
And then we smash cut to a recycled shot of the previous...
Yes, because Jesse was not wearing the same shirt. Yeah. But it's fine. So, it's hot in the living room in Jesse's house. It's 97 degrees.
I don't want to say 98
it's not
degrees.
98. And one of the... I guess they're lovebirds. Now, lovebirds
I wrote parakeets.
Are they? Okay, I don't know.
They were parakeets. Lovebirds is what happened in The Birds.
There we go.
Remember?
Yeah, now I do.
Yeah, my grandma used to have a parakeet. I don't remember it being vicious like this.
No, they weren't. Oh my god, I had a parakeet, and yes, I had a parakeet, and we got it like a little like plastic friend that was on a spring.
Yeah, did you have a mirror for it too? Did it have a mirror in the thing? Because it's supposed to be like they have to have a mirror because it's always they see themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he would he would like surf on it.
Yeah.
And it was like and then like it fell once at the bottom of the cage and he was like super sad. And we're like, oh, it's his girlfriend. You guys, we have to get another one.
my grandma had one and she passed away before and so we were left with this parakeet. And it was
so sad.
The parakeet was devastated. It's a fucking bird. The bird knew who my grandma was. It knew, and it was like, my person isn't here anymore.
Yeah, that's so sad.
They're really cute. I would never have a bird. That's my own opinion. That's my own thing.
No.
They're the fucking animals.
Yeah, you already have a zoo. It's cool. So the
fucking one bird's dead. Because all of a sudden, what does the sister say? They're asleep. Shh, don't bother the birds. They're asleep. They ain't asleep. One's fucking dead. One flops out and is all bloody.
One attacks the other.
And then the other one attacks the families. And I wrote, parakeets don't usually do that.
And then randomly
it explodes.
Implodes.
Yeah.
I said, did it explode from the heat? Or...
what the fuck is happening? For real.
According to one of the documentaries about what it
Here we go.
What it was supposed
oh my god,
to
you
be,
guys, we have so much left.
Because
episode 4 hours.
Because parakeets or whatever birds that they bring down in the mines.
Oh, songbirds, yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the first ones to die if there's
because they alert everybody.
Yeah, if there's gas or whatever. Mm-hmm. So these birds were supposed to explode/die because Freddy's a coming.
Oh,
sure.
That makes no sense, but that was.
It really doesn't.
You'd think that 97 degrees would be the first, but.
That's enough for me to be out of a house.
Also,
I'll tell you that.
I enjoyed that the next scene, the dad is accusing Jesse of murdering the birds.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
You did this on purpose. I don't know, firecrackers or something.
Yeah. Cherry bomb.
Yeah.
Cherry bomb.
What?
Yeah. Well,
and even his mom is like, you're crazy.
Well, it's enough that it makes Jesse wakes up again, and he's so distraught that he walks to Dom's place.
Oh, yeah, okay, hold on. Jesse, dude, can you not get a fan or something?
Is so tan and sweaty, because what... Do we know, where is this Elm Street town?
Ohio.
Is it in Ohio?
Springfield, Ohio.
Do we know where this family moved from?
From? Don't know.
Probably not. Just wondering.
Yeah.
Like, you are so tan and...
Right,
Yeah.
and it's school time, so it either had to be September or May. So,
Yeah. End of the
Ohio.
summer, like very beginning is what I was thinking, but I don't know.
But he goes to this Dom's place, and this is the S&M bar that what's-his-face was talking about, Grady was talking about.
Grady was talking about Coach.
I mean, this is coded as, it's a gay bar.
Yes.
It's...
Gay biker bar? Gay trans bar? Don't know.
Yeah, except, like, the people who are there, it's just, like...
It's all kinds.
It's like
It's all
everyone.
Yeah.
It's like the grid.
Yeah,
It was
what it
kinds.
was back in the day. That's
Yeah.
that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, in the 80s, from what I understand, like, that's not a place you would usually find. Like, if you're going...
No.
If you were
in Ohio?
No.
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
If you were going to a gay
Middle
bar, it
of
was
nowhere, Ohio,
It was
no.
a gay bar. It was
Yep.
all men, and if it was a leather bar, you better bet your bippy they were all dressed, like, almost identically. Like,
Well,
Yeah. So Jesse goes for a walk in a rainstorm and heads into the Don's place for a refreshment. And Coach sees him get a beer, and
then all of a sudden
we pop up, we smash cut to the school, and Jesse's running laps around at the gym.
Is this a dream again?
I know. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So it could have gone both ways.
He's
So
got his leather outfit on too.
yeah, Coach still has his leathers. As Jesse, so Jesse's running laps around the school. As Jesse is showering, Coach pulls out jump rope from his closet. What the fuck is that for?
I mean, this is where we start getting the balls. He gets attacked by balls. Balls!
Yeah,
Everywhere! Big balls, little balls.
All the balls attack the coach. Now might be a good time to spit out your gum. Did any of you notice that as he was being attacked by balls, he would like pop back up and keep chewing his gum? I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, so then we get this unseen force that attacks him with the jump ropes and drags him into the shower, and then ties him up like an S&M sort of like by his wrists to get a flogging.
Okay,
sort of
so this is a serious bullshit moment though.
Yeah,
because,
I like it.
Because, like, even if we accept that, you know, maybe because, you know, Nancy pulled him out of a dream in the first movie, maybe he sort of exists in the real world.
Right.
But this is a moment, like, all of this is happening while Jesse isn't paying attention.
Right, he's in another shower.
Yeah,
right.
and the coach isn't dreaming.
Right.
So
But
either Freddy in his full human form needs to be doing this, or this needs to be happening while the coach is asleep and dreaming.
Right.
But it's just an invisible force, like, tying. So what?
Okay. I think I get what you're saying, but jump on the train with me. The point of this movie...
Come with me.
The point of this movie is that Freddy wants to take over Jesse's body. He wants to use his body as his own vessel to do his bidding. So at the end of I know we're going to talk about the scene, but flash forwarding to the end, you see Jesse with the glove.
Which I have an issue with
he
that too.
Did it.
I have an issue with that because he has 2 sets of slashes.
Because he slashed him twice.
Do we see that though?
Yeah.
Do we see 2-1-1?
We see him slash him twice. I'm just saying. So, Annie, get your gun. I don't know why I said that. The jump rope attacks the coach, wraps around his wrist and pulls him into the showers. Jesse watches helplessly, as the coach is tied to the showers and stripped and towel slapped in the ass. Freddy appears and kills the coach. So Freddy appears and kills the coach. So Jesse is kind of, in this moment, he's sort of out of body, right? Like he's watching, quote unquote, helplessly.
Okay, so the death, I follow you.
You know what I mean?
I'm literally just talking about the jump rope.
Yeah,
like the invisible force with the jump rope.
Right,
yeah.
he was never in the shower. In his mind, he thinks he was in the shower. The whole time, he was fucking up the coach. That was Jesse, i.e. Freddy.
Then why is he wet when they bring him back to the house later?
It's raining. And he was in the shower.
It was raining.
It was raining. It was
Yeah.
fucking rain. I'm just saying that is possible. That this might. I am with you that it is not clear.
Yes.
It is not clear, and this was not well directed. I'm sorry, Jack.
It's not well written.
It was not well written, David Chaskin, and it was not well directed. It wasn't. I think it was well acted.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. So the coach the coach gets spanked. with a
real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I will say this was a moment of disappointment because that ass was not a gay hot ass.
Oh, well, it was a coach.
Yeah, it was.
It was a high school coach.
It was an
yeah, he had shoes on.
It was an 80s straight man attractive ass, you know.
Yeah. I feel you.
I mean, the body in general for his age, I was like, okay.
Yes.
I'll do.
Absolutely.
Again, I'll throw a leg over. It's fine.
Sure, I'll drink to that. I think I already did.
So the next scene is Ma and Pa Jesse coming again.
Oh my God, the dad. See, I think we need to take. Oh my God, no. Okay, so the mom.
The police bring Jesse.
Yeah.
He's been wandering the highway naked, and they're like, "We found this fucking kid. Is it yours?"
Right.
And the dad thinks he's on meth.
He needs a methadone clinic. So the next day, Mom and Jesse are arguing, and Jesse goes off to school, and then Mom goes to Dad, and they're arguing about Jesse. And she's like, I think we need to take him to a psychiatrist. And he says, "Oh, come on, what good will that do?"
Yeah, nothing. Also, my next one is, does he have a job? Like,
honestly, what does he do?
He's like just fucking working. I'm like, is he working somewhere? Is he doing something?
Yeah.
Making
What
money
does he
for
do?
family?
I would accept that they just moved in and maybe his new job doesn't start until next month.
Sure.
I like it.
Sure.
Okay.
I
would be on board with
I like
that.
Very good, Will. Very good.
Leniency to the movie. I like it.
Sold.
But he's up on the letters like what that boy needs is a good goddamn kick in the butt.
Yes, he does.
Which is exactly what my father would have said. So then Lisa takes, she directs Jesse to the boiler room, quote unquote.
Well, first
she takes him to the. Oh, what?
No, first he wakes up again and goes into his sister's room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now he's truly freaked out because
she's jumping rope and singing the Freddy song. And this is also when the glove is moving by itself
in his desk.
drawer. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, the toaster just randomly catches fire.
Yep.
Maybe it's time to move.
Nothing to do.
Ha! Look at this, honey. It wasn't plugged in.
Yeah, it wasn't plugged in.
Again with queer subtext, it's the glove hidden in the drawer.
Hidden.
The things I've hidden in a drawer.
Well,
in my youth.
Yeah. Lisa drives him or
directs
him out to this what she calls a power plant. Freddy was a janitor.
Yeah, he was.
The boiler room was at the school. He didn't take him to a fucking manufacturing plant.
Yeah.
He says he brought 20 kids here and killed them.
It would have been the school.
It was the school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
he was
where
a
they
school
killed him.
janitor.
They killed him at the school.
Yeah. So it makes way more sense that he's tied to kids.
But I'm gonna say right now, here's the thing. And piss on the fucking remake for saying that he might not have touched or he might not have killed kids. I was like, no.
No, he did.
Not only did he kill kids, I'm pretty sure he touched kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he molested them. He was a molester.
Yeah, but they don't say that in these movies. He's a child murderer. He's not a child molester. I was like,
It's like,
Yeah.
well...
Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that is the one thing that the reboot did correctly. They actually very plainly came out and said that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Which is
gives you more to hate about him.
Yeah.
It fuels the fear.
Yeah.
So she takes him to the quote unquote boiler room where Freddy died. Supposedly. Afraid of his dreams coming to life, Jesse starts taking uppers so he doesn't fall asleep and drinking coffee constantly. Mm-hmm. But it was more the pills, like the stay awake, no dose sleep pills.
Well, before that, we get a point of view of someone going through the house, and he gets to the sister's room, and he wakes, and the sister wakes up, and she's like, "What time is it?" And then the shot then moves to like third person, and we see that it's
Jesse, and he's got the glove on, and he's tucking her in, and at that point he's like super fucking freaked out.
We start taking trucker speed.
Yeah.
I love this interaction between him and his parents the next morning. You're looking better.
That before we go off that point, that's the point that's at some point in the history of this movie's cultural impact. Whenever they asked David Chaskin about writing this movie, he's like, "Oh, I didn't write a gay movie. If anything, I wrote a homophobic movie." This is a scene that you can point to and say because it automatically says, "Oh, gay people are pedophiles." Because this thing inside me is making me like want to do something not great with my little sister.
Hold on 1 second, because I have a note about that. Give me 1 second.
I have two Chaskin quotes from the documentary.
Mm-hmm. I have so I've got one from, I found an article called Nightmare on Elm Street 2: The Horror of Coming Out in 80s America by N. Baker. And they say, while it's true, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 may or may not have been fully conscious of its LGBTQ themes, there's also such much darker side to the overarching sexuality, masculinity conversations present. The dangerous 80s perception of gay men as predators. Here, the older men surrounding Jesse are clearly defined as predatory, from the sports coach to Kruger, their interest in Jesse's younger body. This theme plays to a dangerous 80s commentary of older men as their manipulators of innocent teenage boys. Here's Lisa's role as a female savior plays into this narrative as she helps Jesse conquer his homosexual and with heterosexual love. But the darkest undertone of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is the notion that a child molester would pick a gay teenage boy to continue his work. Again, this is open to debate, but tied to social perceptions of gay men as potential abusers.
Yeah.
With chunks of the movie openly supporting and encouraging this view.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's yucky.
Exactly.
That's really yucky.
Thank you. Because I had a note. Okay, so the next morning he goes downstairs and the mom goes, "You're looking better." And I wrote, "Are you fucking kidding me? He looks like garbage."
I know, he looks...
And he was like, "I look like garbage."
He's like, "Cool, thanks, Mom."
Thanks, Mom. I look like the devil right now. Thanks,
right.
Awesome. Oh my god. So they go to school the next day. It's lunchtime. And they're like, "What the fuck's wrong with fucking Jesse?" And
he is irritable.
He is... yes, because he's sitting next to Grady. Because he and Grady are now best friends.
Yeah.
They get best forever. And Grady's pretty much so it's Grady...
He's got fucking 5 milks at his lunch table.
Grady's got a lot of fucking food. And he's just shoveling it in. He's sitting next to Jesse. And then whatever
Lisa
brown hair
and
girl.
Ronnie.
Carrie is the...
It's Carrie?
Girl.
Is it? Okay, thank you.
Carrie. Because subtitles Kerry, Carrie.
Oh, like my roommate.
Carrie.
So she comes over and she sits next to Grady, and they're kind of talking, and she's like, "Why aren't you going to Lisa's party?" And he literally says, "I can't. I'm grounded." She's like, "Why?" He's like, "I threw my grandma down a flight of stairs." I'm like, "What?" I mean, he said he's obviously joking, but it's like, the fuck? So then, Jesse screams at Grady. He's like, "Shut up, Grady!" And everything goes quiet.
Yeah.
And
Grady storms off, and it's like, "Cool, dude, fuck you."
Fuck off. Yep.
This is the first time we get, and now here's another discussion of where we can get into the gayness of things.
Yeah.
There's a documentary that I can't remember whether or not I actually watched or not that I think the title is like, "Do I Sound Gay?" or
Oh,
something like that.
yes,
That's about the phenomenon of gay voice. This
Yes.
is the first instance, in my opinion, that Mark Patton's gay voice
Agreed.
starts to like creep into this character.
Yeah.
Shut up, Grady! And
Yes.
it
Yes.
takes on a tone and an
Yes.
edge that's I'll put this in 5 million quotes, but in my opinion, I'm allowed to say it gets super queeny. Like it's
100%.
It's a
See, there are things that you can say that we cannot.
yeah. It's
So
it's
we
another
appreciate
level
that.
for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
We talked about in what was it, Bride, where like
Bride of Frankenstein.
oh my god, there's a couple quotes that we were like, was it Pretorius is a super like angry queen?
Oh
I was
my
like,
God,
there's
yeah.
a quote, so we were like, okay,
Yeah,
Phil
right.
came and
Yes.
quote about that. We were calling them a queen. But
yeah, but he
no,
is.
I thought that too. I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Okay, girl.
The fuck?
Yep. But so then we go to Lisa's party.
Yay!
Lisa's party. And so Lisa promises that her dad is not going to be like playing Benny
The
Goodman.
DJ. He's
Yeah.
playing Benny Goodman records.
But he is.
Love it! And controlling the girl. Hey, you
Yeah.
want a dog? Here's a dog.
Odie. His name's Odie.
Oh god.
Uh-huh.
What is that? Is that short for anything? What is it? Odious?
Lucius Malfoy, Odious Malfoy.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
So later, Jesse's pouting, and he goes off to like the beach house.
He has a tank top on. I was going to say he's got a tank top on.
Yeah.
At this point. He takes the tank top off to put on a long sleeve shirt with it being unbuttoned.
know.
I was like, what is happening with
I
this
know.
fucking movie?
I know.
well, that was his pool attire, and
Yeah.
now
He's gonna change.
Cool.
You gotta change Ken, Barbie. So he goes to the pool cabana and changes, and Lisa kind of chases after him and is like, "What's up? Like, what's going on?" This scene when they're talking, like, very deeply about what he's struggling through, and she's wanting to be supportive. It's the first time, again, straight ass white girl. It's the first time I'm getting any gay subtext. Is this scene at Lisa's party between Lisa and Jesse where she wants to help, but he tells her there's nothing she can do. In a quote-unquote coming out context, it's kind of true. What can she do other than provide friendship and support? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's all on him and how he processes it and how he's processing his own struggles. But she cares, but it's clear that she's professing that she cares about him very much. Even though in this context, he's supposedly straight and they're totally into each other. If we're looking at this as a quote-unquote gay movie, looking at it this way where Freddy is supposed to be like his inner homosexual, she's still being supportive. She's still trying to, offer some kind of, advice and support, but she's limited in the support she can provide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's the first time I'm getting any bit of, I feel like a stupid, straight white girl that throughout this whole movie.
Well, but that's just the climax of it. Like that's the build up to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I think, like, honestly, this whole scene, too, to me, I think, I like this scene a lot, actually.
I did, too.
I think it's very,
it's very sweet. Lisa's amazing.
In a different movie, especially with, like, because he comes to the door, she knocks on the door, you can see him. It's like you can see through there's shadows. And I'm like, God, in a better movie, this would have been kind of sexy. Like, they could have done something with, like, they can actually, you would see them in silhouette. Mm-hmm. And it would be gorgeous and cool and kind of sexy and kind of, like, the same time, he could struggle with, there could be shadows of Freddy coming out of him. Mm-hmm. Something. There could have been a lot more here. But we don't get that. But there's, like, it's so sad because the first thing you see is Mark Patton getting up and pulling his knees in, cradling his legs and sitting there almost in like a very protected,
like fetal position,
defensive position.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to like fucking figure it out because she's in love with this man. And as someone who has fallen in love with a gay man, I felt this 100% because I was like, wow, how do I help you get over this? But at the same time, try to work on me and keep myself separated.
Yeah.
So I felt this 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
me too.
I wish in a better
I haven't been in love with gay men, but I've like had initial crushes. But then, like, I get over it. Same thing with married men. Like, initially, like, I have this weird, like, crush, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you thinking? And then, over time, I kind of let it go.
Well, I mean,
or
I was
people that are, like, good friends.
And they came out and told me they were gay.
Well, there's that.
So there's that. And at the same time, it's like, you have to tell yourself, you're okay. Like, you're okay. Sorry, you didn't make them gay. Because that's the first thing everyone's like, did you make them gay? You made them gay, right? I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No. But at the same time, so like, part of me thinks...
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. Not how it works. But like... So,
if anything, you're the conduit that helped them figure it out.
Yes.
Because let me talk about my 8th grade girlfriend.
Yay!
Yeah.
And the one makeout session we had on the couch watching The Shining, followed by Phantom of the Opera, the silent movie. And when I realized that I would rather be watching Phantom of the Opera, the silent movie, than making out with this reasonably attractive, very nice girl on the couch, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, I'm not gonna lie, but when he starts like fucking going down south, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when they realize and then he stops.
I my hair a little bit. I was like,
he spits out this tongue like
black. It was also very phallic.
Freddy's tongue. Phallic. It was clearly Freddy's tongue.
It was. P.S. It's been.
It's been.
I was waiting for it. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's been a while since we...
It's been a while.
I love you both so hard right now. So hard.
You thought you were going to win that. Nope. Denied.
Nope.
It's been a while. I'm sorry. Anyway. It's been a minute.
I'm doing my fucking like Dom DeLuise. I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna have a John Candy fat guy heart attack.
It has been a significant length of time since we did that Nightmare on Elm Street marathon. So I don't.
We did that years ago.
I don't recall in any of the other Nightmare movies, like because a lot of this with Freddy is like, you know, metaphors for something sexual. Right. But in the other movies, does he ever actually get overtly sexual other than this moment?
No.
With the tongue?
No.
Yes. He does lick Nancy over the phone.
That's the first one.
Oh, that is that's right.
But no, like not like this. No, the rest of them are puns. They're all fucking puns. Like the third one, he pulls a girl into the screen. It's
welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah. It's all whatever quip he can have. Quippity McQuipperson. So no, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love a really good remake of this movie in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I think there are places to go with it.
Yeah.
So he's making out.
If only the reboot of the first one had been, you know,
thank you,
quality.
Which the only thing that was
PG-13.
Jesse runs to Grady's and begs to sleep at his place for safety.
Two things. One, let's talk about the posters in Grady's room. There's one.
Yes! Limo!
There's one with the fucking dog with sunglasses on. And, and it's dressed like a girl. And the other one is the Stray Cats. I was like...
The Stray Cats! Yeah, hell yeah. What? Stray Cat Strut. What?
Stray Cat Strut.
Bake your brain, sir.
I fucking love this line, though. It's just like, epitome of like, yes, this...
What do you want me to do?
No.
Oh.
Something is trying to get inside my body. And he says, yeah! and she's female, and she's waiting for you in the cabana,
and
you want to sleep with me. Exactly. I was like, this is this movie right here. This is
there it is in a box.
Mm-hmm. The other note that I have here from the Never Sleep Again documentary is that apparently the production designer, like set decorator or somebody like that was gay, and so that's why they're all. Apparently, allegedly, that's why there are all these things in the background that they thought were just going to be like inside jokes, but just sort of ended up making and that was David Chaskin's like original claim, was that all of this was meant to be subtext, but this clueless
everybody
director,
else,
clueless director. And this gay lead actor and this like gay people behind the scenes.
Do you have the quote?
I got the quote.
Highlighted and underlined everything.
There were certain choices that were made, like casting.
There was certainly some intentional subtext, but it was intended to play homophobic rather than homoerotic. There were certain choices.
Oh, sorry. That were made like casting. That pushed the subtext to a higher level and stripped whatever subtlety that may have been.
Yeah.
Yep. This was like, there's no subtext. This was text.
He also, in the documentary said, obviously, I didn't want it to be obvious, that subtext, which is why I never really admitted to it. That and because it was so much more fun not to.
Well, the other thing is, I wrote
fucking
down,
dick.
There's a couple things where I feel so bad for Mark. Mark first
I
said,
do too. Jesus.
He's living in Mexico at this point, and he says, then I delved into the internet, and that was an eye-opener. It really pissed me off when he figured out what was happening.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll do Never Sleep Again, but I want to be able to confront Mark.
David Chaskin.
He never got to do it.
David Chaskin.
Yeah.
That was Mark talking,
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he never got to do that. He didn't get to do it until this
documentary. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I honestly, I think this documentary was like, I texted you, I said,
it's so good.
Fucking bravo, Shudder. Bravo.
Yeah.
So good.
Big time.
So good. Anyhow.
What do you want me to do? Says Grady. Just watch me. I know that's me. That's a cheap shot. Jesse, he doesn't want. He says. So Jesse falls asleep, and out comes Freddy.
Well, because Grady pulls a Glenn and falls asleep.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck this!" Like,
good night,
dude.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Jesse pops up and wakes up and starts to feel it, and he's like, "He's coming for me. I can feel him." And this is the cool, like, a la American Werewolf in London, like, morphing scene where Freddy is, like, coming out of him.
I'm coming out.
I want the world to know
that I'm ripping out this guy's chest. He literally steps out of Jesse's skin.
Yeah.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so he's killing Grady. Freddy is killing Grady. He's got his knives in his stomach.
Sexy death, though, according to my notes. That's all I wrote, though. Sexy
yes.
Well, because there's not much blood. You know, it's just we see
no.
a little bit.
It little comes out of his mouth. A little bit. But it's really Jesse. But then he kills Grady. Bloop. It's really Jesse. Yeah. And you see the mirror image. Yeah. He's looking in the mirror, and it's Freddy, but it's really him. But he's looking at Freddy.
Yeah, he throws the glove at the mirror.
Yeah. He escapes out the window back to the party.
He goes to Lisa's.
And then she reads him the last passage of Nancy's diary.
This is another Queenie voice moment.
Yes.
I killed Grady!
Oh my god, yes! Yeah. Also,
he's covered in red paint that's supposed to be blood.
Yeah.
Yes, it's bright paint.
He's inside me and wants to take me again.
Lisa reads the last passage of Nancy's diary. Quote, "He is evil itself. I know now that I brought him into my world. We all did. Gave him the energy he needed. Our screams were all he needed." It auto-corrected to screams. Never mind. Our screams were all he needed. Yeah. So she's trying to point out to Jesse that it's fear. Fear is feeding him.
And that's why he's allowed, he can just walk amongst the waking at this point.
We're almost there. Because of my notes. Oh my gosh, we're there.
Okay. Keep going.
Freddy reappears and wreaks havoc on the party.
When the pool starts boiling?
Hysterical. Mm-hmm. It's really funny.
People just standing around going, what's happening? I was like, there's a fucking man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Freddy, after wreaking havoc on the party, there's random kills. The pool is boiling hot. The dad runs downstairs with a gun. And then Freddy leaves in a burst of flame. And all that's left is Lisa and her parents and the party goers.
You are all my children now.
Oh.
Are they seeing Freddy or are they seeing Jesse?
Freddy.
I assumed Freddy because they never panned back to him being Jesse.
Yeah.
But there's, again, no continuity between when is it Freddy and when is it Jesse.
Right, right.
So...
/ at the end of the first movie, it's so ambiguous. Like, is this entire movie a dream?
That's true.
Yeah.
Did any of it ever happen?
Especially at the
which
end.
Which ending did you have at the end of the first one? Where the mom gets pulled through
the window. Ah!
Which is the fucking worst. It's the
worst ending.
And that was the one Wes did not want. Wes Craven did not want that fucking ending.
It looked so bad. He fucking knew how bad it looked.
Yeah.
Bob Shea, P.S., was the bartender at the gay scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? The one who brings up the beer?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was Bob Shea.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Fun. For tat. Lisa races to the old plant where she suspects Jesse will be. She drives, if you notice, Jesse's car because she knows how it works.
Yeah.
Random two Rottweilers with human baby heads.
That creeped me
What
out.
the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Some kind of dream thing?
It was creepy. It was
not necessary.
Not well made.
No.
And it was nothing and went nowhere.
What the why?
No.
Yeah. Also, like the human-sized rat went nowhere.
Oh my god!
Like,
That fucking rat.
Yeah, random things.
Is it here or before when he opens his mouth and there's the eye inside of his mouth?
That's at Grady's.
Right, so like you know that he's inside. He's trying to get out.
Mm-hmm. That was Freddy trying to get out of Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the boiler room, Lisa confronts Freddy. It's so weird.
Yeah.
The whole, like, how he dies. Because there's, like, fire dripping and melting everywhere on, like, the piping that surrounds them. And it catches Freddy on fire. Freddy...
Oh, yes, when she kisses him, I'm sorry. I started singing, "Beautiful creature of darkness. What kind of life have you known?" Anyway.
Boiler rooms.
So, Freddy dies, melts away.
Yeah, this whole thing was a fucking mess, man. Like, it was Ghostbusters. All of a sudden, like Louis Tully is like all of a sudden pulling off pieces of dog, and it's Louis Tully. It's the same thing. It was like pulling off pieces of Freddy Krueger, and there's fucking
sloughing off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean,
yeah.
he was defeated by love.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Heterosexual love.
Yeah.
Sure.
Her vagina made it so that way, Freddy would go away. I mean, as I heard one point, this pussy's mint.
Mint condish. Jesse is left in Freddy's sloughing wake.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a fake out ending. Fuck off.
Well, you can tell it's a dream because they're all on the bus, and we've already established that he has a goddamn car.
I thought that same thing. I was like, what? The only thing I could think of is because
I know
both of his arms being bandaged, so I mean he's burnt, and so maybe he can't drive. That was the only thing I could think of. That's why he was on the bus.
He can totally drive. His hands are fine.
I would also like to circle back and correct my previous song because I realized that I sang the wrong word. It's not Beautiful Creature of Darkness. It's Pitiful Creature of Darkness. I love you.
Redaction.
What kind of life have you known?
Oh my god. We got to the end!
Guys.
Yay!
All right, we have questions. We have questions for Will.
Man, yes we do.
So, question for Will. I mean, I'm going to ask this, and I think I know the answer, but I'm still going to ask it. So, does this seem gay to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
It's a gay movie.
Okay.
It's like...
Is it the coming out?
Yes, it's...
Is it the hiding?
It's the coming out, it's the discovering something inside yourself and grappling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's because that's a journey that doesn't exist in the first movie, really.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be better if this had taken this movie and pretty much removed it from The Nightmare on Elm Street? Let's just take it out of the
Sure.
and we put a random monster in it. Would it be better? Because then we can actually deal with it being actually making a statement. And
yeah, there would be a lot of things like that could make it so you don't have to deal with the rules of dreams and shit like that, and also take it out of the 80s so we don't have any shades of gay people are pedophiles or the love of a woman will save you or any of those levels of problematic shit.
Yeah.
But overall, was this in I feel like it was in the Scream Queen documentary. At that time, there just weren't any pieces of media or culture, or at least mainstream things for queer people, and so queer people became scavengers, and they took what they could get.
Well, so there's a really good horror movie called The Burning, which The Burning is the first final boy. And it was it's really not gay, but it's one of those, I think a lot of people latch onto because it is a final boy. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's been leaks into, it could possibly be, we could possibly find things. We're trying to find ways and avenues to bring gay into the culture even earlier than that, because the Burning's earlier than 81. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is just super sad. This movie's super sad. It really is. It really is not, it's not a, to me, it's, like I said before, it's not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is not, Freddy Krueger wasn't, we're equating a child molester to gay. And that is very frustrating. Mm-hmm. Very frustrating. Oh, I mean, I get it. I get why we celebrate it as a gay film, but it's not something to really necessarily be celebrated to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. As a gay person, I would assume
the
same thing.
It's not the greatest thing, but you sort of enjoy it because we also need to celebrate our history.
Yeah.
True.
You know?
True.
That's, I guess, what's so fascinating about, even movies or art or music or films that, are somewhat, even have somewhat of a negative connotation. It's the gay culture tends to, once they own it, it's forever exalted.
Well, we talked about the Babadook. Babadook's not gay, but for some strange reason, the gay subculture is
whatever, and then it takes over it.
But
look at what happened.
I don't even know what the Babadook's about, or why.
It's not gay at all, but I kind of love that they've taken it over. Yeah, it's fine.
But look at what happened with Rocky Horror Picture Show. It wasn't gay necessarily, but it was.
Well, that's overtly queer.
It was super gay. But it had a following and had a subculture to it.
I mean, because Old Dark House is really, honestly, the blueprint for Rocky Horror.
The inspiration for. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of subtext there, but it's interesting. So in thinking about that and what these older films provide and why they're,
they're laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have a progression from Bride of Frankenstein to what was that unicorn movie? Gay Unicorn? What the hell was it called?
The Last Unicorn?
No. The one you sent me was something like, oh God, we were looking.
Oh, Unicorn Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay.
Way over, like hello.
I would love to have like a timeline or an analysis of all of that, but
progression too.
Yeah. I mean, again, I would love to have this movie removed and altered and reimagined.
Mm-hmm. I think we should do ratings.
I think we should too.
Cool. So, blood droplets for blood and gore. How many out of 5 would you give it?
Like,
dude, you got blood fountain in number 1.
Right.
What do you got in this one? I mean,
this is maybe a 1.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. I wrote 3, but maybe I should change it to 2.
I'm gonna
change it to 2. It wasn't there was a lot of makeup effects. There was a lot of red paint, but not, There was the whole brain thing.
Yeah, 2.
Good for them.
I'm gonna say 2.
I'm gonna say 2. Spooky scary. How many little ghosts do you give it?
I give it like a solid 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some good pop-up moments, and Freddy's not too much of a comical character yet.
He's not. He has red eyes.
I was doing this fucking quippy shit for another couple of the next movie.
The next movie, mostly. Yeah. I gave it a 2. What do you give it, Ray?
1.
1.
We're talking about scariness, right?
Spooky scary.
I wasn't scared of this.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, everybody's ratings are okay.
Okay, so we've talked about this before. It depends on the person. Like, I've seen some shit. So to me, this is not scary.
Yeah. Scary isn't the word I would use. I stuck with the word spooky.
Spooky.
No, see, and to me, there's things in the old dark house that were more spooky than this was.
Yeah.
The shadow play was amazing in that movie.
It was really good, yeah. Mm-hmm. The lighting effects were... sex and nudity.
It's also a good 3, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, hang on.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, compared... What did I give Fear No Evil? Because Fear No Evil was better at that than this a bit, because there was actual, like, full nudity.
Oh, yeah. I think you gave it...
2.
I think you gave it 3.5 eggplants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
that.
let's stick with, like, 2
on that scale, yeah. Yeah, I gave it 2 for sex and nudity, yeah. Fun and entertainment. How many cold black hearts do you give it?
Oh, I think it's still fun. As problematic as...
I agree!
It is. I think it's still a good 4. It's a good 4.
I agree. I still have a good time. I gave it a 3.
2. I'm not a fan of Nightmare. That's just me.
Well,
that's me. But that's me.
I love it. But we'll talk about that some other time. So let's do recommendations. Miss Ray.
Fuck.
Take it away.
Oh, God bless me.
Because I got a pee, so take it away.
Okay. So real quick too, I got one, which is, if you've not been keeping up with, Joe Bob Briggs and The Last Drive-In, he did, this is a couple weeks ago, he did, Nosferatu. He did Nosferatu, 1922, and then he also did, the 70s Werner Herzog. And I would recommend it. I liked that he contrasted both of them, and along with everything on Joe Bob's and last Drive-In, he gives so much information and so much backstory. He's a fountain of cinematic history, and when he finally goes, we will be very sad to miss out on what he has to offer us. The other thing I'm going to say is I'm diving back into fucking Dateline because I'm a crazy person. So Peacock has every episode of fucking Dateline, and also some really good series that One made me want to burn the city of fucking Lancaster, Pennsylvania to the ground. It's called Sins of the Amish. And it will make you fucking furious like me. Because rapity, rape, that's all the fucking shit is happening over there. And it's disgusting. And I want to rip everyone's dick off. Anyhow, that's my recommendation. Will, do you have a recommendation for us?
Hey, so I recently watched this musical. Has been around a long time, but I still recommend it because I just happened to see a tour that came through town. The musical Waitress.
Oh, so good.
Let me tell you, it is
So
such
great.
a good musical, and this is my second time seeing it now, and it still holds up. And I like the movie as well. The musical is better, I think.
I was just gonna ask you
And
that.
it's a complex story. It's layered. The characters are layered and complicated, and I really like it. And the staging of the Broadway production that's touring around the country right now is just beautiful and gorgeous. And on a more general note, live theater, y'all.
Hey!
I love it.
Hey!
Go and support your local live theater.
If you go wear a mask,
you.
wear a mask, whatever you want to do.
Yes,
Whatever.
Even if it's your local community theater, if your local middle school drama club, if they're putting something on, go and support them. I know.
Oh my God.
As an audience member, you may have a threshold for how much of that
For pain. We know.
stomach,
For pain.
but,
Yeah.
I totally get
but
it.
really, if you can shut off part of your objective brain, if you're really judgy about that stuff, and just see the pure joy
Agreed.
living within these local performers' faces, or go to see it and actually really well put together professional production. Also, just support the art form of live theater.
Yeah. A fucking man.
Amen.
And I can definitely personally attest to seeing a middle school show, which was slightly painful, but definitely delightful.
We talked about it on this one.
Yes, we did.
Oh.
I went to see my boyfriend's daughters in a local production of The Little Mermaid Junior. They were so cute. I mean, they were adorable. So it was like, they're gonna go to theater. So, I recommended this before, but I'm gonna say it again. If you I'm gonna say it again. Hallelujah, amen. So, I'm really drunk.
We've all been really singy tonight. It's
So singy. So, I recommended it once before, but I'm going to recommend it again. If you do decide to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I would recommend watching this. I watched it before, but I kind of wish I had watched it after. It's a documentary called Scream, Queen, ! My Nightmare on Elm Street, which follows the actor Mark Patton, the lead actor in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, on YouTube, Google Play, Vudu, Apple TV, or you can watch it for free if you have a Shudder subscription, because it's a Shudder documentary. It's only an hour and a half, and it follows Mark Patton before, during, and after the filming of Nightmare 2.
And how enjoy podcasts. Night Living Podcast is like, it's
yeah.
I got so excited.
Yeah, they got featured in the documentary, interviewing Mark Patton at the Horror Hound convention. Someday we will get there.
We'll do it next year.
That'll be amazing. So Mark Patton was interviewed about the time in his life before, during, and after Nightmare 2, and how it affected him, and he shouldered a lot. After Nightmare 2, he really didn't do anything else in Hollywood. He pretty much went off the grid. And he was living recently in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. And when they did the Never Sleep Again documentary, someone reached out to him to do it. And as Ray had indicated earlier in the podcast, he said he would only do it if he was able to have a sit down with David Chaskin, the writer. Because David Chaskin in particular kind of threw Mark under the bus a little bit. About, not a lot of it, about how, it wasn't my gay subtext, it was the casting.
Yeah.
It was the casting that was the problem, that made it so overt and ruined it. And it's really sad, like an aspiring young actor in Hollywood in the entertainment industry, and how one gig could make or break you. But I highly recommend watching it in conjunction with Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Just to see his journey and see why this is such an iconic gay culture film.
And he's
why.
In a good place now.
He is at peace with it. He's at peace with it now, and he does attend conventions. If you ever, see him in the area, that's who that is, Mark Patton. Hey, someday, crossing fingers. So that's my recommendation.
All right, I'm trying to find. That's what I was doing as you were talking. I was trying to do our how to find us.
Oh no, I have that. Hold on.
So coming up, we've switched some stuff around because I am lazy. Next month we're gonna do Sleepaway Camp. So Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. We are not doing a return to Sleepaway Camp because I could give a fuck about that. Don't care. It's fine. If you guys want to tell us about what we're missing,
go ahead and come at us. Come after us.
Yeah, because
Because
guess what? I ain't gonna lose sleep over not watching fucking Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Honest to God, no.
So, but yeah, you want to add us? Go for it. Add us at where?
You can email us at boozeboobsandbloodpodcast@gmail.com. That's boozeboobsandbloodpodcast@gmail.com. On Twitter at boozeboobsblood. Instagram at 3B Podcast. Facebook at B3 Podcast. You can message us on TikTok at boozeboobsblood podcast, and Letterboxd.
I don't know.
I haven't written that down yet.
I got it somewhere. It's fine. Just search for Booze, Booze, and Blood. But what I'd like to do right now is thank our guests.
Oh my gosh, Will.
Yes.
Oh,
I adore you.
yes.
It's been a time and a
loved
half.
every fucking minute of it. And
Thank you so
welcome
much.
Back whenever you'd fucking
Yes,
come
thank
back.
you so much for staying over too, for
Yeah,
extending this with us.
It's late.
This was a lot.
This was a lot. It's been a lot. I apologize, and I'm so sorry.
But we love it.
Yeah.
Love every minute of it.
Oh, yes, I had a lovely, lovely time.
Oh, thank you so much.
I cannot wait to come back for a movie that's appropriate for my input.
Such as... what did we mention before?
Yes.
Carrie.
Someday in the distant future, we will a mega Carrie episode.
Yes.
Yep.
I feel like sometime we'll do a Stephen King month. I'm just not sure when or where in the future that'll be.
It's not just a month. It's like...
It's
like
probably going to be a
Hitchcock.
series.
It's gonna be,
Yeah. But when we do, we will do Carrie.
Yeah, we will. And we will have you back on. You have been a delight.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yes.
So, how do we end this fucking thing?
Lately, it's been... Later, bitches!